I'm Lando Cal Experience. Glad to make your acquaintance.
Yo, welcome to another episode of Lando Cal Experience. This is the boy James. We are sans Darryl this time around. You know, Darryl is out of town right now handling some business, so shout out to the homie. Do what you got to do, brother. But, still got the rest of the crew. So, like I said, it's myself, we got Jules, and we got Ted.
In the building.
Building. So, we're going to go ahead and just rock out and try to get some things started today. So, we're still the same format, but we're going to free flow with this time around. So, let's see what goes on this time around. So, fellas, what's the word, first of all?
What's going on?
Man, work, man.
Yeah.
Work, man.
The season is upon us, G. You know, the two of the major films we've been waiting on.
Man.
It's about to drop within the next, couple weeks?
Yeah, I think for this next 2 months, man, we in there. I'll tell you that. We got enough to hold us down. Black Friday in the middle of it all with DVD sales.
Right. So, kind of like I was telling y'all right before the show started, man, with Justice League, like I said, I already know Jules. We already know one person, Jules. We already know he went ahead. Got stick his mad early. I ain't mad at the brother.
You can't be mad at me.
Not at all. But, like I was telling them, still being a DC supporter, Warner Bros. DC supporter, no matter what. I'm going in, like I was saying, with zero expectations, solely because I just want to make sure, I just want to go in totally unbiased, totally surprised by whatever I see. That's why I haven't tried to watch too many trailers, honestly, because I just don't want to give too much of myself away. Because I'm like, okay, Warner Bros., maybe now you're trying to start playing smart about how you need to go ahead and move instead of giving too much of some certain things away. So, like I said, hopefully with all the re-edits that Joss Whedon did for Zack Snyder, unfortunately because of tragedy happened to him and his wife, hopefully everything works out good. So that's why I'm at with it. So, what y'all think?
Me, man, I'm not even going. I'm hype about it. I'm not going to front. This is going to be epic, I think.
I'm looking forward to it, man.
They can't afford to...
We'll see.
To fail, not with this one, just because it's the ensemble, like you said. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm hype about it. Yeah, I got my ticket, and actually the whole family.
Nice.
But we ready for it, man. My only problem is, I thought that the trailers were the last new trailer came out, but then I see a trailer and it had a little more into it. And I don't really want to see too much.
No, and that's why I was saying.
Right,
and that's why I was saying I don't want to give myself. That's why I'm saying I'm going in with zero expectations, trying to just based off what I already seem like. Okay, they ain't give a whole lot away. I'm good. Let's just go from there. Because I'm like I don't watch too much, man. So that's like one of it with it. So
there's a throw off. If you see too much in the trailer, you expect certain scenes.
Exactly.
You don't get to really be surprised. So they gotta chill. Hopefully they don't within this next 3 weeks, man, of release. They don't even. Change another trailer or even give you another hint at something different.
Right, and that's why I'm with. Just don't give too much away. But what you think, Ted?
I agree. I don't know. It's a little weird. It is DC, so a piece of me is trying to make sure that I don't get too excited. You know what I'm saying? And to get my feelings hurt. But I am excited. I gave, on the request of y'all, I gave the Batman vs. Superman a shot, and I was pleasantly surprised with the
Ultimate Edition.
with the Ultimate Edition.
30 minutes made a hell of a difference.
30, it made it cohesive. It made it
They
make
should
sense.
have really
you
just
know?
left that in the theater too, man. That should have been the theater.
I don't know what made them change that shit around, like,
Time.
but you know.
I mean, that shit. 3 hours is a long time anywhere. You know what I mean? So
right, that's Lord of the Rings time. So yeah.
Yeah, but when you think about 3 hours in that movie coming out 3 years after Man of Steel, I wouldn't even complain.
I would say but I do kind of like I said agree with Darryl as far as like I think they should have split up into two movies, but I think just moved them 6 months apart,
That'd
so
be
it would have
cool,
came
too.
out within the same year.
you trying to matrix it like how they did 2 and 3.
I'd rather you do that, you
Nah.
know, and make the shit work because it is still Warner Brothers doing some shit like that.
Right.
So I mean, I'd rather that be the case and it work because, like I said, one summer blockbuster, one holiday blockbuster, and it works.
You know what is
Hindsight, but you know,
I mean, it's definitely hindsight. I mean, and or that was purposeful to make sure that it would drive DVD sales. You know what I mean?
possibly, but it just seemed like just kind of a move. I mean, kind of because, like I said, over time I kind of saw what it was like. Yeah, because I'm like, I can't watch the old version anymore.
No,
like,
you can't. Well, you
can't.
can't watch the old version because it doesn't make sense. Like literally, whoever if I was Zack Snyder or whoever that was that had to basically create a movie by editing the stuff that actually makes a movie, like kudos to you. Like watching it in the theater, you're just like, okay, this is kind of crazy. But I couldn't imagine somebody saying, all right, Ted, all right, so we got the 3-hour movie. We need you to cut it down to 2 hours?
2.5.
2.5. We need you to cut it down to 2.5 hours and make it make sense with all these little these pivotal pieces in there.
Major pivotal pieces.
Like major pivotal pieces, like, and still have it make sense.
Like, oh, okay, so we know Jimmy Olsen is. Okay, so that's who it was. That was Jimmy Olsen that got shot and killed. Oh, okay, so Superman did nothing wrong. He didn't kill anybody. He actually didn't set no one on fire. Okay, like, you know what I'm saying? Okay,
Yeah.
It's certain things like that. So you know, but
So, well, even looking at that, that's why I'm like, all right, we're gonna give this one a shot.
right.
They're definitely redeemed themselves with Wonder Woman.
Suicide Squad. It was just like,
But that's the problem. That's the problem. Like, you know, so honestly, they're really not batting that bad. Like, it's like, you know,
because this is Darryl talking. The hate shit comes from Darryl.
No. I'm just saying, if you look at the track record, if you actually look at like everything that they've produced thus far, like Superman was good, right?
Yes, it was
Man of Steel was good. Batman versus Superman.
questionable.
Well, no,
The original version.
The original version was good, but because they put the edited version out first, you're already tainted. So like you said, so you look at it, you're like, oh, this bullshit. So if nobody has friends like y'all, like yo, for real, just check out the director's cut. Nobody gets to see that, so this is lasting in your mind, and then you drop fucking Suicide Squad,
Which was
like that is doo doo of doo doo. That's if your shit
Doo-doo
takes.
of doo-doo.
That's if your shit takes a shit. Like, and so now you're looking at the whole franchise. Like, yo, I don't know if I trust this shit anymore. Like, it's like if your cousin constantly lying to you and stealing money out your wallet. You know what I'm saying? But he saved you from getting your ass whooped 1,000,000 times when you was a kid. But now he a dickhead. So you want to be friends with him, but you don't trust him.
right.
It's kind of the same thing. It's like I look at it like, okay, I've given you a couple chances.
Now Warner Bros. Is a dickhead cousin.
It's a dickhead cousin. I'm saying, like I've given you a couple of chances. You've come through on some other shit.
Right.
No, better yet, you lucky, because I was gonna put your boy on blast, because that's what it was like.
Oh yeah.
Because that's what it's like.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's just like having situations where you have a trusted somebody working, you give him your business, and he does a good job the first time, and then you take whatever item that you might like to call,
He's giving you a really good example. And I'm going to keep it real. We had this conversation recently, man. My mechanic. And what I was telling Ted, man.
It's just like that. Your boy starts his business, you're like, yo, I'm fucking with you. I'm going to take you my lawnmower.
Yeah.
You fix my lawnmower, it's like, yo, it's dope, cool. I get
bring him my
another
fridge.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
I bring him a fridge, or I get another. That lawnmower breaks. I bring another one, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll fix one up." And then the quality ain't the same.
Well, and then you start feeling like you're not appreciated.
Yeah, right. I send motherfuckers. I've sent business your way. I talk highly about you, and now, you ain't really following through. You give me excuses on why shit ain't working.
Yeah. Right.
So
okay.
You see what I'm saying?
I see.
So
All right,
it's the same thing with DC. I saw Superman. Yeah, nigga, you gotta go see Batman versus Superman. You gotta go see. It's gonna be dope. And then you see it, and you're like, okay. I mean, it was cool. Just wasn't everything we thought it to be. It's like, nah, I promise you. Suicide Squad, that's gonna make up for the shit. That's gonna do it. You gonna go see Suicide Squad, and then you're gonna be a DC believer.
I tried.
And that nigga, you bring in a motherfucking lawnmower, and he gives you a weed whacker back. He did just a completely different instrument. He was like, "Yo, nigga, this is not what I gave you. This is not what I gave you, brother."
That's a hell of an analogy.
And so now you're just like, I don't know what to do. Like, I know your work is good sometimes. So we'll see. I mean, I'm excited. And honestly, I really, you know why I'm excited? This is why I question. Am I excited because of the people that are in it, or actually because of the story? Like, what's about to happen? Am I happy because I'm finally going to see fucking Aquaman? I'm not even that hype about Flash. That's the crazy part.
Everyone just want to see how, it's like, how dope they gonna make Aquaman?
Well, I mean, because they led you in with the when what was that little preview where they showed him in the bar talking shit, and everybody's a Jason Momoa fan. It's cool, and I like the dude that plays Flash. I'm just not that, and we still got
Grant Gustin,
yeah, Grant Gustin.
You gotta look at it like this too. They banking so much on Aquaman's
presence
because he already got his film in the works. You know what I mean? So they confident about that. So you got to look at it like, yo, you know what? They working on his film already. They got...
Yeah, Jules, you better do good in this movie, man.
For real.
So stupid. Hey.
Because we ain't going to be able to have...
You know what's funny,
the
man?
nigga made out of transistor radio come see you.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep real. You know what's funny? I seen Jason Momoa post some of the stuntmen, right?
Mm-hmm.
I said, these dudes look nothing like this dude. Hey man, I'm about to hit
CGI, baby.
Hey,
CGI, baby.
But they flipping off them, clips and all that, man.
Right.
Yeah.
My nigga riding parademons and surfing niggas shit.
Right.
I'm like, damn.
I think each story will get deeper outside of the Justice League film.
I think so too.
I mean, it has to. They
it
fucking
has to.
separating this shit now. Like,
I mean, because now you got kind of free reign to do what the fuck you want to do now.
Yeah.
Kind of like the animated version, in a sense. They got their own little continuity, then they got divergence.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about it like this too, Ted, because I know what you were saying about you get one thing, then you get another, then it just feels like it just drops down to
it's consistency,
lesser
man.
value.
It's all about consistency.
The thing is I don't think they try to go the route that Marvel seems to have stayed consistent with. Because had they done that and took that same route, you know what I mean? And not even playing the safe type route. I'm talking about just the same format. Then you would get, oh man, DC's biting off of Marvel. But I think they had to figure out a way to kind of go different around it.
I think the only reason why I find it's difficult because we're dealing in storytelling. And there's different ways to tell stories. We know that. Mm-hmm. But I think the issue comes because Marvel, like, I get what you were saying. Like, Marvel's all about the kids and stuff. Like, they do the kitty, they got the colors or whatever.
But it's not even Marvel.
But, no, it's not.
It's what's behind Marvel.
Right, it's Disney. Well, I mean, they have to stick to that lane, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But I think the other thing that makes it DC so tough on DC was, A, they felt like they had to play keep up. B, they could have taken that same format because the challenge would have been, you taking Marvel's, format, and they could have been like, DC been around for, Batman's been around for hella, you know what I mean? They don't necessarily have to interject the humor. I mean, I don't remember any fun. I mean, there might be one or two funny parts in Batman Rises. I mean, in the Batman trilogy.
Now, this is the thing. Like, when people say keep up with Marvel, I don't think they really was thirst to keep up with Marvel. I think if that's the case, they would have found a way to make the Dark Knight trilogy flow right into this whole new DCeU universe.
I don't think that was their plan.
No. See,
no,
what happened
but that's
was
the point. I don't think that they really. A lot of people say that, but when you really think about it, keep it up with Marvel would have threw Man of Steel. Next year you would have got somebody else. The year after you would have got somebody else. So then you would have got Batman versus Superman.
Well, we're not talking about like Man of Steel. We're talking about after Man of Steel.
Right.
That's what it seemed like they started doing
it may have happened before.
Saying. That's what I'm saying to you.
I think
if after Man of Steel, if they was really trying to keep up with Marvel, they would have threw us something in 2014.
No. So
as well as 2015.
So here's the thing: the reason why they were trying to keep up with. I say they're trying to keep up with Marvel is that they probably didn't know how well it was going to take because when did the last Batman hit? What was that?
2012. Yeah.
Okay, so that is the highlight because that's also when something else dropped.
Man of Steel. No. That was the year after.
Man of Steel was 13.
Yeah,
right.
That was 13.
Yeah. So 2012 for Marvel was
Avengers.
Exactly.
Avengers.
That's what changed the game. When they dropped the team aspect, something that literally everybody's been waiting on to see all these heroes.
And it worked.
And it worked. That's when DC kind of put shit in a hyperdrive. You say what?
Because they played it safe.
What you mean?
Real.
Oh, see, Darryl's not here, so that's what he gonna do this.
I'm not doing nothing.
What you mean? What you mean it was?
No, because he said and it worked, but in his stern and it worked. What I'm saying is they played it safe. Of course, it's gonna work. You play it safe, it's gonna work.
Well, but that's the thing. Well, you don't have to worry about going.
They had 4 years worth of build up though.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. That's more so what it was about.
With trial and error too.
With them when starting up with
but they also but they have 4 years before that happened. Like mind you, Man of Steel had between 2013, 2 years.
2 years.
So was it 2 years or
no,
3
no,
years?
No. Because you can't count Man of Steel. You can't
filming in
11. You can't count Man of Steel though.
But I'm just saying between Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman.
Batman vs Superman was what?
That's 3 years apart.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying versus 1 extra year for Marvel.
Yeah, well. Batman vs. Superman was 2013.
Between releases.
Right.
Well, see, the thing made it easy for Marvel was that they did the Phase 1, Phase 2. Avengers was the mark of Phase 2, the beginning. Boom. Right? Well, whatever came right after. But that it was easy to do it in the format which you have the main characters have solo films.
Right. Well, but that's what, to me, that's just smart because they're trying to get people acclimated and you can get the most money out of it because, you're singling it. Every time we're just getting you bits and pieces. I think, like I said, what DC did when they saw Marvel throw the team aspect in, because I don't think they were tripping. It was like, Superman's about to drop. That's going to be cool. We'll bring Batman back. That'll be fine. But then Avengers drops. It's like, oh shit. Okay, we got this. And honestly, they got these they got this team aspect. I know this is something we've been thinking about. Maybe we need to roll it out now because we know people want to see it. Because you think about it, if they actually did take the format of DC, starting from when Man of Steel started, right? Mm-hmm. How long would it have taken before we had gotten a team, the Justice League?
But what y'all forget, though, because it's not Marvel that set the foundation. You got Watchmen that came out 2009, right? That set off a team aspect to a team. I mean, seriously.
To a degree, but it's different because the Watchmen aren't as well known as the other characters.
It was more like
they're not, and that's the dope part. But
it was more like but the thing about it was, I understand what you're saying, but like I say, the thing about with something like the Watchmen, it's more like an avant-garde type of situation with that. It's kind of like. It's really more so like for people who are a fan of Alan Moore's work and things like that. Like I said, a lot of people didn't really fuck with Watchmen the first time. Mm-hmm. It really didn't because it was like an avant-garde different thing. Like what the hell?
And honestly,
it's still like the whole concept of the ensemble. Period.
Well, the other thing you got to keep in mind though is that
that's the whole fucking story.
Right. Well, they also didn't work together. Like it was almost like it's still that's not even really an ensemble. It's a.
We got that after.
Right. It's the relationships between the actual team members and not the team members coming together to fight something else.
Right,
No,
it's
not at all.
them trying to. It's one person really trying to figure out what the fuck happened with everyone else.
Yeah.
like afterwards. But that's what I'm saying with Avengers. That's why I'm saying like with Avengers, they actually took the 4 years.
They had camaraderie.
They had camaraderie, and I said you have 4 years to make sure shit interlocked and interacted with Warner. I mean, between releases, but let's say like with Warner Brothers though, like I said, they had Man of Steel, which worked. I'm pretty sure maybe they did have Batman vs Superman already at the time, but
Yeah.
like I said, but what happened was like Ted said, the reception of.
Well, I mean, it may have expedited it.
Right,
I'm just
it may have
saying.
expedited
But
it,
even
yeah.
if let's just say they did follow that format with all the key members of the Justice League.
Right.
When would we have gotten the Justice League movie? Just fucking with that.
So yeah, go back to
well,
Dark Knight.
if they went by the same formula Disney went by,
Yeah.
I would say probably the same amount of time.
So, if we had to put a year on it, what year would we have gotten?
If we said the same amount of time, if we said, I would say the same exact format. If they did the same formula, like 4 years time spent from the very beginning to the ensemble, I would say 4 to 5 years, maybe. Like if they played it out correctly.
So we would not have gotten a Justice League movie until.
I disagree with James.
I don't know, man.
The reason why I'm gonna say that because Christian Bale not wanting to continue Batman is what changed the game. Because DC probably was already on that road, which is why Man of Steel started filming in 11. Think about it.
Well, I'm saying if they followed the
Dark
same
Knight
format.
We're just saying that-
Listen. But what I'm saying to you is
he's
that
saying
Dark
that
Knight started
if Christian
in 05.
Bale, if Christian Bale
right?
had started,
Yeah. So
Well-
look, you got Begins 05. You got Dark Knight 08.
Right.
And then you had 12 for Rises, right?
Right.
The thing is Man of Steel was already filming in the middle of 11.
Right.
So when Man of Steel came out, 13, there's no telling which way it would have went had Christian Bale stayed in that suit. Now, that I think was a major part of the concept for DC and where was they trying to evolve to from that point. I think bringing the two main characters from DC out like that on that level which is why is the chance got taken on Man of Steel versus 6 years prior you having a flop with Superman Returns. Still, so I think they looked at it like, yo, if we get this popping, bam, we got Man of Steel coming right after. Bam, we can hit you with another character. Might have not been Wonder Woman, you never know. But the whole point, I think, once Bale said he don't want to do this, Batman anymore, that changed the game for DC. That kind of made them have to step back.
how long did they know that though?
For a minute.
And that's what I was like, and was the original, and like I said, if the original plan was for the Dark Knight trilogy just to be a trilogy,
Right.
and that was it, then,
I don't think it was the limit, though. I don't think that's where it was going to stop at. I think the whole point of...
Nah, I think Christopher Nolan had even. Well, he said he wasn't fucking with it past the trilogy.
And
so.
that's fine, because you don't need the same director
right,
for every
you
movie.
don't need to say, I think the thing was that I think with the way maybe Nolan wanted the movie to be set up, I think he wanted it to be like the birth, the life, and the death of
But why
Batman.
do you think
You know what I'm
Zach
saying? Like,
Right.
just
put
and
on,
that's it.
though?
What's that? What?
Why do you think Zach gets put on? This is like a protege
Well,
to this kid, Nolan. Low key.
I think the reason why Zach gets put on because when people are going to see movies, they're looking for similar styles. Like you can't go from fucking Dark Knight Rises to Suicide Squad. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's completely like.
But you can go from Dark Knight Rises to Man of Steel. You can.
Well, no. Well, I don't know. It's more of an expectation. Like I feel like if Zack Snyder had done the Dark, like followed up after that, I feel like Batman would have taken a stronger hit. It would almost been like similar to Superman Returns. You know what I'm saying? Because because your directing style, like if you're trying to slide it into like, yo, this is the continuation. This is it's not a trilogy. It's like we're just rolling this story over. You're looking for it to have a certain look, the story be told a certain way, the stunts to be performed a certain way. Because even when you think about it, like Zack Snyder uses a ton of CGI.
Yeah, he does.
Nolan doesn't at all.
You wouldn't
Very
even know
minimal,
half
very
the stuff
minimal,
in
yeah.
Batman was...
Right. You said what?
Very minimal.
But he's and that's what makes him so astounding. So that's why, like, for you to go to that flip to go from this. Honestly, I think that's why so many people fuck with the trilogy in the first place.
Because it's more realistic.
Right.
But
It's grounded in
realism.
a stronger sense of realism than.
But how much CGI was in Watchmen? Think about the look of Watchmen. That was real.
I mean, you needed CGI for Watchmen. Like
not that much. Like that's the whole point.
For Dr. Manhattan, yes, the hell you do.
Of course, that's you have to use that. I'm talking about it wasn't like overly CGI. Like Dr. Manhattan had to be, of course, but
that's like, a major part of it. So you got the. I mean, I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
but
to display everything surrounding Dr. Manhattan, you're going to need some CGI.
I think for the most part, what I'm trying to say is I think them knowing with the failure of Watchmen, because the studios are still the same people behind it, and Sucker Punch and keeping Zack, I think, was a part of them saying this is going to be the continuity between Dark Knight and Man of Steel. I think they just wasn't expecting Bale to bail out of it. Christian Bale to bail out as
I feel
Batman.
like Bale only knew. I think they knew Bale was leaving when he first signed on. I feel like he said he only planned on doing the trilogy.
I think after the success of the second one, I think he was like, you know what, let me go ahead and bow out after this third one.
And that's cool, but think about how much story that they had when they left off Dark Knight Rises.
They did, but I mean, the thing about it is, did you really want to kind of see a follow up with? I mean, a whole different Batman like that. I mean, kind of like how
nobody did. I think that's what
and that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, if it's not Bruce, I mean, you grew to love Bruce Wayne. You sure you're gonna want to go and see a whole different person outside of the Bruce Wayne?
You wouldn't. Well, see, and that's what I'm saying. I think the reason why DC pushed, Batman versus Superman. Honestly, I mean, number one, it's still different. It's not a complete team up. It's just two of your favorite superheroes, but. I think the reason they did it is because Hollywood is really just about waves. It's all about waves. So that you drop this team ensemble, and if they follow in that same format of like trying to introduce all these characters before we can actually have a Justice League, then you're not getting fucking Justice League until damn near 2020. Because you're saying like if it's Unite to the 7, I mean outside of because was there anybody else on the team that got introduced during that time? On the Avengers?
Everyone on the Avengers got introduced. Like, everyone got introduced.
Well, earlier, but I'm talking about solo films. So, like, outside of Black Widow. I mean, I know Black Widow was in a couple of...
Black Widow and Hawkeye.
And Hawkeye. So, that's 2. So, you still would have to run through fucking 5 films.
Right, because you got Captain America, Hulk, Thor, and Iron Man.
Right.
So, you got all of those already. So, you got 4 your main, then you have 2 additional, which are featured in it. They had their own, they just got featured in it.
So, if you got to do that, so you looking like 2020 before that. And I think, to me, Hollywood's like, yo, that's way too far out for us to actually capitalize on this shit. Because you got to think about it. Before the Avengers, the Avengers fucking created a whole nother realm of ideas on how to introduce to get people involved into the story because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. get to all these fucking spin-offs starts happening and DC didn't have that available to them at the time.
One spin-off.
Well, but everything else
clarify that.
One
spin-off.
It's one spin-off. No, because it is one spin-off that's actually connected to the universe, but when you had
TV connections.
That's what I'm saying. You have TV connections.
I'm talking about S.H.I.E.L.D. That's just one spin-off.
Right.
You said spin-offs.
Well, no. I'm thinking of DC in the same respects.
Yeah. But DC been ahead of that for a minute. They've been
doing nothing connecting though. Not until
and they still don't have.
They've been hyping it up so many fans because it don't matter if you're a fan of TV or cinema. You're still a fan of the genre.
Right, you can still be a fan of the genre.
They've been having this gas stuff for so long since Smallville. You know that.
Right, the only thing I knew that interacted with TV and movies in a sense was something like maybe with Joss Whedon did with Firefly and Serenity.
Right.
Something shit like that. And ironically, it was Joss Whedon who did both the Avengers and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right.
So he knew how to get TV and movie to intertwine.
Right.
Intertwine good, in that regard. So I understand what you're saying. No, it was always found out. We know DC was ahead of the curve on that. We're not taking that aspect. We're saying,
but even so
it's
DC
how Ted sounds though.
No.
DC is thinking late as far as what.
But they
technically they did though.
No, you can't really say that because I've been a fan since the minute. It's not about DC.
So
or Marvel
what?
For me.
No. So what?
Listen, as DC being the umbrella company. Technically, they've been dealing with that
So let me ask you this.
Introducing different characters from TV aspects.
So let me ask
when
you-
you're taking that to the cinema, you know how many people would
So let me ask you that. Okay, so
Superman.
exactly. But
Right or
you're
wrong?
looking at. So did Tom Weller ever become Superman in Smallville?
At the
end,
extreme
but-
end.
but-
Very,
Exactly.
very end.
Right at the very end. So here's the issue. This is where the issue lies. So just like you're waiting for, we're waiting to see whoever this fucking boot and cape nigga is in Justice League. All the rest of that stuff. Like there's a moment, there's a point of, of actualization that as a supporter, as somebody who, as a fan, have been waiting on. This shit never happens. This shit never happens in Smallville until the very, very end.
But I think all the fans who, if anybody stuck with Smallville, they already knew about
So,
the
but-
technicality
so-
part where they couldn't even legitly get him to be called Superman.
But that's my point. So
And so-
that is what is taking away from people's connecting the dots, wanting to see it. So, for example, how long does Smallville go on?
10 years flat.
10 years, bro. 10 years. So think about this. You've been following Smallville for 10 years, and they've never once called this nigga Superman.
And they didn't have to, though, because I think they grew him as a character.
No, they grew Clark Kent as a character.
No, and that's fine.
But you never got to
Superman
see
or the Blur, or Red Blue Blur, what they
Really?
call him.
But he wasn't Superman.
He was never
But
Superman.
he couldn't be Superman. That's because the
But see,
rights
But
to the
there is,
Superman.
but
that
therein
lies the problem. That's what I'm
Because
saying.
if you're it's kind of like with Gotham, and like eventually Gotham's going to have to introduce Batman,
right?
Because it doesn't make sense you having a Gotham show and introducing Bruce Wayne, and Bruce Wayne never once gets introduced as Batman somewhere down the line.
Yeah, but that different story, different rights,
But, hey,
all that stuff is technical. And what I'm saying to you is,
Right.
for the longest time, DC has been dealing with the fact that they can't
Right,
blast
right,
him out
right.
as
But-
Superman.
so
on
that's what I'm
TV.
saying, like-
and they neither half the characters that showed up, whether it was Flash, Green Arrow, whoever, you can even Supergirl. So many of them, you couldn't really, as much as you hyping us up watching the TV series to see this group come together, right? You couldn't get it. So you don't think that DC having that build up, and of course having the films come out, but is when do you get the films to lay out right in a pattern that's going to work so that
this
the
is
whole Justice League can
right.
appear.
So this is the way I look at it. DC had Smallville, but didn't introduce any other characters like that's a part of the Justice League, like TV form, like or any sort of characters like on their own shit, like Arrow, Flash, all the rest of the stuff when they had the opportunity. Supergirl.
Oh, that's they did have the Aquaman pilot come out. It was trash.
Okay.
But
They did.
because keyword pilot.
So
Yeah, but that's just like the Wonder Woman pilot came out a few years back, and it was out the
right,
window.
right. So this is what I'm saying. So they throw it out there. It doesn't stick. It doesn't have the same sort of pilots, right? Because there's no because when you think about it, there's no reason that Aquaman should pop. I mean, not Aquaman. Arrow should pop and not Wonder Woman or Aquaman. You know what I'm saying? In the same sort of respects because they're not as popular. So to me, I think when Marvel did their thing, they set up the whole lineup. You know, they brought out all these people. Everybody was like, "Oh shit, what is this really gonna come to? What is this culminating?" Because everybody's like, "We want to see these niggas act together, but it's never happened. We've never seen this on this sort of level."
Right.
And now the technology's caught up with the type of shit they can pull off. This is the perfect time. DC was like, "Yo, we can run this Superman Batman shit forever. This shit has been popping for us since the fucking 80s, 70s. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that, 50s, when the first Superman jumped off. So they're like, these are always going to be our bread and butter, right? And when you think about it, they didn't really have much contention outside of the X-Men, and everybody gives ups and downs on those. So then all of a sudden, Iron Man starts popping. The rest of these start unraveling. They're like, yo, these motherfuckers are actually telling a story in the fucking cinema.
Because and as a reason why, and it's the main reason, kind of like I always say about with DC in general. And I'm just saying this as being a DC fan, like I said, since I was a little boy. The thing about DC is they're very self-contained with their stories. With someone like Iron Man, even Arrow, for example, with people like Iron Man and Green Arrow and shit like that, they're not as popular. So you have to make them, you have to make them interesting. You have to finds way. You have to make so your story has to back it up. You don't really. Everyone knows the story of Superman and Batman. It's pop culture.
Right.
Everyone knows that shit.
Right.
Like even motherfuckers that never read comic, they know those two origins. You don't really know too much about Iron Man's origin. You don't really know too much about Green Arrow's origin. So you're gonna have to make shit to make it interesting, and you're gonna have to. No,
well, for them, they have
right.
to get the
you
right actor to make it interesting. Because
right, and that's what I'm saying.
Difference.
And that's what I'm saying. You have to make it interesting. You have to get the right story. You have to get right actor. You have to get the right surroundings, the right settings, the right supporting cast.
Yeah, because they got all no names for every Spider-Man that came out.
Exactly, but guess what? Spider-Man is also one of the big three.
That's the brand. That's
right, that he's Marvel's mascot. So
yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? So for someone like Spider-Man, I think that's another reason why Spider-Man, until recently, minus Spider-Man 2, I think that's probably why Spider-Man has been kind of up and down, because Spider-Man is in the same, not the same boat, but a similar kind of boat with being like so high up there, your expectations as that character better be the shit, kind of like with Superman and Batman.
Well, they know that people want to see these people. You can reboot these motherfuckers 50 million times, and we all finna be there for it.
Right, because it's their pop culture icons.
They're pop culture icons.
So like you said, you always gonna want to see Superman, Batman, Spider-Man.
Right.
You always gonna want to see
but that's what I was saying with DC. I just felt like they were worried about oversaturation. They know that motherfucker, especially the way that it popped off so hard, like fucking Happy Meals and all the rest of this shit. And then TV started ordering, all these different shows. Like, we even said it before. We're like, God damn, this shit is getting
oversaturated.
It's getting oversaturated. Like, everybody got fucking powers now. The TV newscasters be making shit rain.
When channels like CBS and NBC and all that be ordering certain shows, that's when I'm not with it.
Right, exactly.
But when CW stands behind it, or maybe another channel might be like Sci-Fi doesn't jump up on it. I don't know why. Or even G4 Network. They don't
have the same sort of.
They could have stole it with the power.
They don't have the same sort of the budget, like time constraints that the other ones.
No, exactly. But the point is that certain networks pick up these shows that are not meant to have these shows because they're looking for a different response.
They kind of like riding the wave kind of scenario.
They riding the wave. So that and I know that. Like when they ride the wave, there it is. But it's tricky, man. It's tricky when you trying to produce something for TV, especially when you got so many different outlets now that you can catch so many different series and whatever the case is. So
right.
You got to let the people who know how to rock that do it. So if it's CW, if it's Disney Channel, whatever, let them really focus on it, man. Because then the oversaturation comes from, the first season of Supergirl, Constantine on Fox.
So what's the next wave?
Next wave of what?
Next big thing is within the geek culture realm.
Yeah.
Well, I think Cyberpunk is going to be making huge resurgence.
Okay.
I think Cyberpunk will be. Well, we already. Well, you know what? I take that back. It's going to be a tie between Cyberpunk, and honestly, the Supernatural. The Supernatural's already kind of been there, but it's kind of like a huge interest, especially with things delving into the occult. So, that's probably going to be the thing, or Cyberpunk. Or a new version of Cyberpunk, like with Mr. Robot and shit like that coming back out.
So do you think that they can start... So, like, for instance, and it's kind of fucked up, but do you think they could redo a lot of our childhood... Because honestly, that's kind of what this is. They can redo a lot of our childhood favorites and make them grown up and not lose. Like, for example, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like, just imagine if Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles actually came on with like a Daredevil feel.
Are you talking about how it originally should be?
Yeah.
It just won't fit, though. It won't work.
I think it would. I think it would. Because you know why? Name one outside of TMNT. Name one Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie that's beating the original. Outside of TMNT. Name one.
What do you mean
know
outside?
What the original had
talking about
dope
19.
feel too.
That's what I'm saying. The 1990 version, the original one.
Yeah.
When I was like 3-4 years old.
Right.
And TMNT.
What is TMNT?
You ain't never seen TMNT?
Which one is that?
That CGI one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, no, not these last two.
No. It was another
it was a
CGI
CGI one.
It was
It's kinda
another
dope,
one.
though.
It was dope. It was another one.
But it was cartoonish, right?
It was kind of cartoonish.
Yeah, I saw that.
It was
But it
one
was
where
dope.
it was dope. That's what I'm saying. It was that one. So I said the first one and that one are probably the two best ones because the story in that one was the shit. Like hands
All
down,
these
the mother
Michael
was
Bay
lit.
ones are garbage to me.
Right. Never said, but the one before, the last one that came out before Michael Bay,
This was like
that's
07,
TMNT.
07 or something like
That
that.
mug was dope.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, is there a way to make our favorites adult, like,
Yeah.
like our adults with alcohol, like make our favorites with alcohol at this point?
I mean,
like,
we're going to talk about this a little
Yeah.
later, but I'm going to put this out there. Whoever's doing Stranger Things, if they took the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles concept, I would love to see how they run with that.
Oh yeah.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you
It's,
could do. Well, I'm just saying, like,
And keep it nostalgic, James.
like if you do, like, for example, everybody, well, the majority of people, there were some people that were kind of pissed off, but everybody liked the adult version or the newer version of the Power Rangers. Not even this new one. I'm talking about that fan made
Oh
one.
yeah.
Where, like, you know,
They
it
were
was
fighting?
well, no, it was almost Watchmen-esque a little bit.
Yeah, basically it was. I know exactly because I remember I watched it maybe like a couple months ago just to rewatch it.
Yeah.
It had James Vanderbeek in it. James Vanderbeek was actually technically he was the second Red Ranger and he worked for the other side out of jealousy. But all the original five was some of them was still around. Not
Somebody
everybody.
got linked this to me, man.
Yeah, man, it's
Oh,
dope.
word? I didn't know this.
Like everyone, like you see the fight with the Megazord got destroyed in the very beginning. Like you see all of them like on some like Saber Prime and Ryan type stuff. Like they
What?
straight losing bad.
How long was it?
About
15
20
minutes,
15,
yeah.
20 minutes. Yeah,
It was solid.
Yeah, man, it was solid.
solid,
Like
yeah.
no, Really Repulse was in it. Like all at like. Basically, Tommy was in it. Like everyone was grown. Like Zach was
And
in it.
this was
Zach
fan made?
Yeah, Zach was getting down. Zach actually fought as a Ranger. You saw him getting down and
This
shit like
reminds
that.
me of the fan-made trailer for Grayston. Long time ago.
Oh, for
man.
Grayson, yeah.
Grayson, long time. Oh, man.
Yeah, it kind of had a feel like, but it was gritty. Like it was real.
Gritty?
It was gritty, man. And like you saw them like in the
Like they were getting
yeah.
murked. Like
legit.
Like
Oh,
they,
man. I gotta look this up. This
Like
is crazy.
like literally like James Vanderbeek as Rocky betrayed the Rangers out of jealousy.
Wow.
like it was
It was dope, man.
But what I'm saying is like because there's so much adults that are waiting to see these happen and not necessarily in kid form at this point. Like, would that be possible? Like, because I would love to see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I would love to see fucking nigga. Just imagine if they did the Silverhawks.
That'd be dope.
Yeah.
But
You know what I mean?
But you know what? I think Turtles they can get away with that the easiest because of the source material of it. Because if anyone know that shit, you know Shredder is not around that fucking long in the comic book. Shredder dies early.
Really?
Honestly, yeah. Leonardo murks him. He decapitates him. Like I think he's like a first or second story arc villain, and that's it.
Yeah. I think it gets confused though because I think when the studios get their hands on it, they want to look to track.
Well, yeah, they're looking
money.
for dollars, but that's what I'm
And
saying. But now
what
that
else better than
we got
having
these
Turtles?
other, because that's the track. You know, they're trying to sell the kids and stuff. But I'm talking about
Right.
like, you know, Hulu, you know, Amazon, all the rest of these.
Crackle right now.
Crackle.
And you know what? I think that's probably why I like Man of Steel so much. Because I grew up as a little boy loving all the Superman shit, even like from like the old school. Like my mom used to VHS like all the old Dave Flesh shit, Nick at Night shit,
never
and all
been
the
a dark
Georgia like
Superman.
like all that shit, like all the goody two shoes shit. I grew up watching that, so I'm like, that's all I knew. So I'm seeing Superman snapping necks and not giving a fuck.
Well,
Yeah,
he
but
gave
you
a
gotta-
fuck, but
a lot of
he
people-
was
He didn't give a fuck
he
about
still
it.
did the shit.
He gave a fuck, but at that moment he said, "Fuck, click, I got to do what I got to do."
But you got to think about this. It was like
I loved it.
Superman 2 did the same. The original.
But they,
It
but
did the
I don't
same.
think
It was just brighter. It was more colorful. He's kicking
Right.
dudes off of cliffs. They ain't never coming back up from.
He sure did
yo,
kick
keep
him off a
on
cliff.
hunting.
He did.
everything the same, man. Yoke cats out. It was just how it was brought. There was a
the
moment
cellophane
in
is
Superman
fucked
2,
it
though.
up, man.
There
The
was a moment.
cellophane is fucked it up.
Come on. I mean, look, there was a moment, Superman 2, though. You know, it was epic. That kid said, "Father." You know,
Oh yeah.
But I think they're scared to tackle that And that's why I think Man of Steel is so dope, because they just said, you know, we're gonna make this more the realism, like somebody could really relate to him, can't fly and all that, but the point of it being more realistic, kind of like in a hero sense, or you know, something like that. But it had to be done, man. I think that's how you reboot it, because you already seen the fail of Brandon Roof. You know what I'm saying? You know, so with him failing as that, well, not him technically, but the movie itself giving so much homage, that failed. So of course they had to go different route. You know?
No, I feel you. I mean, like I said, but I agree with Ted though. Like as far as like, you know, if they do some reboots of some stuff and make it more adult, like I said, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles will work. Like I said, the closest thing they probably had to that in recent times was
Transformers.
Transformers kind of too far gone at this point though.
No, I'm talking at the beginning, like the first one.
Oh yeah, the first one. I worked with the first one. Or like I said, Silverhawks, or G-Force Battle of the Planets.
That's always been dope. That could always be something dope.
Yeah, that could be. You could do that. You can do what else?
I'd like to see them do. I would like to see. I still want to see them do Thundercats, G.
Thundercats would be dope. And like if you do Thundercats like on the flip, like, you know, came from an alien planet.
It needs to be, or just do it Avatarish.
That will work. Do it Avatars, or even make like the beginning of, if like they can do Avatar, or at least how the beginning of Man of Steel was, like the first 15-20 minutes with Darryl and Krypton.
Yeah.
That was sick as fuck. Like that was.
I would just love to see Jaga somehow, however they interpret that. That'd be sick.
Like if they put like that same kind of feel or better, like I said, James Cameron Avatar level, that would be dope. If they do something like that, like, so you got that. What else you got? You got Thundercats.
Visually,
so much shit.
It could be done.
Yeah, it can.
Because that last movie that came out with the two kids running around as cops, and I don't know what that was.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
They have the ability to create any universe. I mean, come on, George Lucas has been doing it forever.
Right.
But to create those universes, they can easily do it. It's just a matter of how they're going to put the story together, how they're going to interpret
fuck that. Have it look like Star Wars.
Yeah.
You can.
Like them new one, because that's way, like, not as colorful as, what's it called, but like, you know, I mean,
What's so scary about doing the CGI though?
I think it's the money.
CGI film.
You know, or have a little like Warcraft.
$15 million on a CGI movie versus having a.
I didn't look at Warcraft because I heard Warcraft sucked.
No. The movie wasn't good, but the CGI was everything.
The movie wasn't even that bad. I think
it wasn't bad, but
gamer
the CGI was
and you're
everything.
into the whole World of Warcraft.
You're
gonna conflict it and be like mad. I went in, never really played the game. I'm good, and I liked the movie.
It was like I said, it was cool, but like the visuals was the shit.
Oh my goodness,
the visuals is everything.
The visuals,
like when you look at like the orchid stuff, like everyone got a true sense of like realism in their face. So like,
I had about a 4K just for that. Wow. I don't care about the story. I was like, I'm over it.
It visually looked amazing.
Them visuals.
It looked amazing.
I might have to.
So it can, but visuals, like I said, the story is cool. But like I said, the visuals make up for it.
You come to the house, I got it.
Okay.
but nah, man. But you got shit like that. Like, I mean, you got some shit. I mean, you can do Mask if you wanted to. Shit,
Mask is so dope.
You could do Mask if you wanted to.
Mask is so dope. That whole concept.
You could.
Well, you know what, dude? You brought up a really good point. I would really like to see fucking Christopher Nolan do G.I. Joe.
Because G.I. Joe...
Oh, man.
Because the thing is, because honestly, G.I. Joe should have fucking looked like Assassin.
Yeah, shit.
Instead of...
Assassin's Creed?
No, Assassin.
The
movie that
Wachowski...
Like Ninja Assassin.
What? Ninja Assassin. If they had that...
Ninja Assassin?
By the Wachowskis?
I don't remember that.
Oh, yeah, it's dope, man.
It's ridiculous, bro. It's fucking ridiculous. It came out
like 6-7 years ago?
Maybe, yes.
Like a 2011.
It was a sleeper, man.
Like Snake Eyes or something.
No, I'm talking about that whole Connect.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, the way that it's shot, like, because you're dealing with you're dealing with covert operations.
Mm-hmm.
That when they had that fucking Atari shit in the second one, when them niggas was trying to find the base.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In the second G.I. Joe, and that shit looked like 8-bit Nintendo.
That bullshit.
I was like, nigga, come on, man. Like, we got to do better than this.
Right.
If Michael Bay didn't write it, he can do it.
He did do it. I think Michael Bay... I feel like Michael Bay was part of that second G.I. Joe.
Listen to what I'm saying. If he didn't write it, he can do it.
I don't know if he...
Because the thing is when he did 13 Hours, visually, that just had that real, like, that feel.
Like I said,
you would
can
love
do
to see it
visuals,
because
right.
he brung the act. I didn't mean to cut you,
No,
but he brung the action into that movie that made you expect. You wanted to see like, yo, Joe, come out that fire. Like that's how it was that interesting watching 13 Hours, and that was Michael Bay. So
I think
if he didn't write it, he could do it.
See, I know I have to agree with you because let's like people like Michael Bay, visually, that's their lane.
Yeah,
like that's why I would say like shit like Transformers. Visually, that's your lane. Like you can't fuck with him on that.
The Island,
but as far as everything else,
you gotta let it go.
You know what I'm saying?
You're gonna have to learn how to work with somebody.
Right,
It's
like
just him.
Right, it's kind of like in a slight sense, Zack Snyder's kind of the same way. Like Zack Snyder visually, you can't fuck with him. I'm sorry. Like I would say, even on the Marvel sense and everything like that, as good as Dave graphics may be, Zack Snyder shit. Like if he really puts his mind to, it's kind of unfuckwittable, damn near.
I'm gonna
like,
keep it 100.
You really can't. Like once he put the visuals in, it's everything at that point.
Man of Steel was dope. Blue
amazing.
Minds. I think what I didn't like out of all of it was the skull part. When he was sinking in the skulls, I felt like that was a little bit extra. CGI-ish.
Yeah, that was a little bit CGI. But I say, as far as everything else, like from the way, from like the flight scenes to the fight scenes.
That was hard.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, visually, you got it. Now, everything else, you might need some help on that. But it depends on what it is. So, like, Watchmen, he didn't really need too much help on Watchmen because Watchmen is pretty much fucking written already. You know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is pretty much follow the fucking book, maybe make some changes for like liberty, take some liberties for certain reasons. But you really don't need to really do too much to Watchmen. You know, like story-wise, you can pretty pick up the book and 95% of it's gonna be in your fucking hand. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be straight. You know, but it won't translate that with everything. So like someone like Michael Bay, for example, like you said, visually great, everything else, So I think if certain people just stuck with what they land on and maybe gave everything else to someone else, certain remakes or certain things that we do, like Transformers and shit, like and G.I. Joe, I think it would have been way, way better off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, like executive produced by Michael Bay. But like, if you was executive produced and did the visuals, you would have been straight right there. And cinematography, you would have been great right there. You wouldn't have the shit to do shit else. So that's why I'm thinking it. But I think you would have left everything else to a different director, different writer, different producer. I bet you would have had a different response. Kind of like how you said with Ninja Assassin. Like if they would have did like Ninja Assassin,
I seen that movie. Shit, I seen it.
Yeah, then it would have been. It'd be dope as fuck. Like G.I. Joe's Ninja Assassin will be a dope concept. Or shit. You know what I would love to see? Ninja Scroll. I want to see a fucking live action Ninja Scroll. Nigga, that's what I want to see.
That would be
amazing.
Amazeballs, G.
Yeah. Nigga, and then do that like Ninja Assassin.
Yeah.
Do that like Ninja Assassin. That would be dope.
That would blow shit out of the water. Between that and, because I was just thinking, there's so much other shit. Like, it's crazy. It's weird, but like, now that they kind of done the Avengers thing, you know what I would really like them to see them take on?
What's that?
That has yet to be done correctly.
What's that?
Video games. Like, I would want to see them do Street Fighter. Because there's really no difference. There's really no difference when you look at,
I think,
the ability. Because the only thing is, so like, let's say we take Marvel writers, give them the Street Fighter as the base source.
You know what they could do? Marvel could do it. Well, no, they probably can't. I don't think they. Well, can they? No, I think no. Technically, I think technically. No. I think technically, since Marvel already be doing this shit with Marvel vs. Capcom now, technically they could put their input in this shit. So, because Marvel vs. Capcom, Marvel property,
right?
Marvel vs. Capcom owns Street Fighter, right? So,
well, who did the Tekken movie?
I mean, they've all been garbage, but I'm just saying, like,
I'll be interested.
Like, I'm just imagining, I'm imagining Street Fighter looking like the fucking Raid.
You know what though? But when we get to that place though, I think it's more of forget rebooting stuff. Let's just get more creative.
Because that's the thing. It's not a reboot though, because it's never been really
never been really done. But that
it's been done, but it hasn't been done with the attempt to try to not make it look like a video game, but to get like they got a ton of fan made shit.
Oh yeah,
that's amazing.
But so they did do. Not for nothing, they did do a Street Fighter recently.
But
I
that's
told you about that too, like a year ago, 2 years ago.
But you were talking about cinematically. We're talking about just online.
No, it wasn't even online. It was actually like I rented the DVD.
What's it called?
Oh man, it was about
the Assassin's Fist or something like that.
Nah, it was based
Legacy?
around what's the two?
It's not
Ryu and King.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah. Okay, y'all know what you're talking about.
They could do it because I was hyped. I took a picture of the hot dog and all that.
Oh no. I know what you're talking about now. That it was online and they put it on DVD. No.
Yeah,
that's
it's that same one. That's the same one I was talking about.
It's a continuation from that. No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
No, I mean an actual like
cinematic feature.
The niggas from the raid.
Theatrical,
like and
coming soon near you. We talking about that,
and them actually putting the resources toward it, to make it happen because it's like. The only thing, think about it, the last thing that actually hit the movie theater that was close to fucking Street Fighter was the first Street Fighter with Jean-Claude.
And that wasn't that damn good.
And that was...
It wasn't even... but that was in the early 90s,
Well, that's what I'm saying. So you had these other ones that are coming from like China and all the rest of stuff that are trying to... where the game came from. Yeah. But imagine putting somebody like fucking... the dude that did the raid behind it. Yeah. Or... You know what I'm saying? And you got to think about it. That is a worldwide phenomenon. So if you got the right director to put behind, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like you could create that same sort of buzz that you create. Because games are killing movies right now when it comes to purchasing.
I think though with that though, you can do more of just to play it safe with that one.
I mean, think about it. They did Warcraft. It fucked up. What you mean?
Ease us into that. See, I think Warcraft, it's not that they've messed up. But I think it
wasn't big enough?
No,
absolutely. They went big with that, man.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So then it's huge. So then what happened?
It's just the fan base. We too much.
For like...
Keep it 100. We don't look at nothing with an open mind. We go in.
So
it's more... Because it's more of a niche market territory.
Right, exactly. So then take that same idea.
But it's the same niche market that's not going to support too much.
But something like shit like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, like Superman, Batman, or pop culture icons.
So like for instance, if you wanted to test the waters, I feel like you could do it with. I mean, fuck, they did it already, dude. They could just redo fucking what was the movie with was it Die Another Day? The one with Tom Cruise. Where he was fighting the aliens. What was that? And he kept...
War of the Worlds.
No, not that one. The one where he was a soldier. And
Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow.
That was kind of dope too, though.
Right. It was super dope. But imagine that, and instead of that being Edge of Tomorrow, it's fucking Halo. Or it's Gears of War.
But you know what? See, but something like Halo will work already. Something like Gears of War can work already. Because the thing about... Even though it's Sony property, like I'm playing the game now, Uncharted. Like something like Uncharted will fucking work. It will work. It's
the fucking male version of Tomb Raider.
Like it's pretty much Indiana Jones in the time period. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's Indiana Jones in the time period. So it works. Like shit like that works. Or The Last of Us. Or some shit like that. Like shit like that works. But of course, we know that you ain't gonna do it because it's Sony property, and Sony probably do it 9 times out of 10. But I'm just saying, for the sake of the argument, shit like that can work. Like,
dude, when I tell you,
the story's written already. All you gotta do is translate it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, but they miss these opportunities because they don't grab the right people. Like, perfect fucking example. I cannot tell you how gassed I was when they first said Max Payne was finna drop. The movie, boy.
I think he was mad as fuck.
Oh my god, dude! When they first said it was coming, I was like, and Mark Wahlberg, nigga, what? Max Payne, y'all bringing Max Payne to? There's no reason
It's hard to translate to a film.
But it shouldn't be though. Like
that's what I'm saying.
Think about when that came out, man. It was not.
Nowadays, it shouldn't be hard though, because I understand where Ted going with this. It shouldn't be.
It
hard.
shouldn't be hard.
Like now, because like content said, like, and me and my wife talk about this. Like it's the stories on some of these games. Like destroys what Hollywood put out.
This is what I'm saying, dude. Imagine if they put a Max
But
Payne.
they got two different demographics that they're going for.
No. So perfect example. Fuck movies. Imagine if they put Max Payne, what on season on Netflix.
That would work.
Oh, it'd be on.
Oh my god.
There's no limit to that because it's not for the cinemas. It's not trying to cater to everybody and their mother. And that's the whole key to it.
And you can expand on the
when
story.
you go big film screen, it's a wrap.
Well, that's what I'm saying. With certain movies, you can do that. But like, for example, like they're making another Tomb Raider movie, right?
Yeah.
They're making it, but it's based off the new version of Tomb Raider. So, or like say, if you do like for real, what's perfect right now? If you want to do a real good video game movie, Uncharted, solely because
the world is so expansive.
the world's hella expansive. Two. Nigga, you can get fucking someone like what's my man name? Chris Pratt. Get him to play Nathan Drake, the main character. Done.
Well,
But now you're going into let's sell it for the kids.
But no. I'm just saying the type of character Nathan Drake is. Chris Pratt can play someone.
Well, they're
like
saying because
Nathan,
he's so recognized.
Yeah,
now
you're so
bigger.
recognized, you can get someone like Chris Pratt to play Nathan Drake.
No, I respect
And
that though. I know
that's
what
what I'm saying. So like for him, if his and kind of person Chris Pratt is like. If you brought like a Star-Lord as kind of character to Uncharted, it will work, because that's kind of how Nathan Drake is in a sense.
Right.
So it's like, okay, that works. So you bring someone like that kind of like can help it. Or if you did like, what's another one? It would have to be a series. You have to really kind of do it correctly and take a lot of the fluff out. I still, to this day, say you can still do Metal Gear Solid. Like,
dude, there's no reason you can't do Metal Gear Solid.
You can do Metal Gear.
There's no fucking reason you can't do Metal Gear Solid.
You can do Metal Gear Solid.
Look, I'll take an anime CGI version on Netflix. I don't want to fight nobody at the theater, man. I just want I want it to be for us, man. That's really what it is, man. These stories be so G, and then when somebody say we're gonna put a big story behind it, all of a sudden now they gotta cater to everybody's feelings. I don't want them to do that.
Nah, that's
make
real.
it for us.
I mean, if you make certain shit CGI, like if, for example, like I got Metal Gear Solid 5 at the crib. I got it for free. I got the extended version.
It's free right now.
Yeah, it's free
Download.
right now. So if you get it, so you better get it before the end of the month.
Get it?
Hell yeah.
Download. I'm gonna download it. My fault.
Like, look, it's gonna be too much to do. I'm 24% in the game. And I wasted like 40 to 50 hours. I had to stop. So
I'm not that dude no more. I ain't got it. I'm quick. Get me in there.
I'm only on mission 16.
Wait, did you download Fortnite?
Yeah, but I haven't played it yet.
Oh my god. I'm in now on PS4, so I'm gonna get you and you gotta download that ASAP.
No, I got it, but I just had to put it back on my system. I haven't
okay.
put it
So
back.
yeah, you good.
Yeah, actually, that's a perfect segue where I want to go into real quick after this. But I'm just saying. Okay, I'm just saying as far as that's concerned, like you do something like Metal Gear Solid because it's the story's there and you can modify enough to make it make sense. Because Metal Gear Solid, I mean, as good as the game is, the story can be kind of befuddled and kind of muddled up.
Yeah.
So you can make a little bit more sense and make it more of a. Now we can make it a continuation, make it its own universe. It's easy to do, kind of like on some Jason Bourne type shit.
All right.
So you can do that. So that's why I do agree. Nowadays, it shouldn't be that hard because the stories are there. Like you can do a Last of Us movie, and I guarantee you. Now, unless it's crushing what the game put out, don't attempt it. Don't attempt it. You know what I'm saying? You can, but don't attempt it. It would have to be emotionally good, like Interstellar, but still be trill as fuck action wise. It would have to bring a real emotion to it. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Walking Dead.
It would have to be. Nah, it's way more emotional than Walking Dead. Like it's like one of those things. Like it's only two. You're not worried about a group of people. You're only worried about two, and that's it. And it's two unlikely people that end up like not fucking with each other. At the end, they damn near father and daughter. So it's kind of like it's a real.
So basically, it's that shit is fucking The Professional with zombies.
In so many words. In so many words, you can kind of say that, but without being an assassin with zombies in a dystopian future.
Right.
With some realistic shit that could happen. which that's what makes that story fucking awesome. Because it's some shit that could happen eventually. Don't know. But I'm just saying, like, you could do stories like that. But why, like you saying, they fucking them up? Don't know. Like, I don't know why you couldn't. Like, Last of Us, Texas dude, Matthew McConaughey, done. You could get someone like him, or get someone that can do a good Texas accent. That's it. But I mean, you know, man. I mean,
I don't know, man.
I mean,
was a flop.
I don't know. You said what now?
You said Matthew McConaughey. I said, I don't know. Dark Tower was a flop.
But shit, Interstellar, with
movie,
father and daughter.
I know that movie, man.
That bring it to the
Okay,
yard.
that's all right. You good then.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, but it just goes back to what we were saying. It's more so about the story than it is about,
Right.
Or making that shit make sense. So.
Right. But that's pretty much it. But go ahead. What were you saying?
No. Go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say, I want to get through a couple more things, then we're gonna wrap it up for the night. So real quick, man, just because when we get out the way and talk about it, this the elephant in the room. It broke out today. Kevin Spacey. So,
I've been thinking about it for a while.
we ain't gonna waste a whole lot of time on it, but I do want to say this. Like I was talking earlier like I was saying earlier, man. Earlier today, I had an early conversation. I'm not surprised. Like I said last year, I'm not surprised that this kind of shit is out there. It's fucked up and it's sad. It's a damn shame. But I'm not surprised shit like this happened in Hollywood. It's just more bullshit getting revealed over time. So I truly hate that. I think the dude that playing, was it Star Trek Discovery? I think it is, or something like. So I truly hate that dude had to go through that when he was a teenager, especially a grown ass man. It's fucked up, and I mean, even though Kevin Spacey is apologetic and shit like this, kind of one of the things like, yeah, my man, but still is bad, dog.
Can somebody? What happened? Did anything? I only got the gist, but did anything actually happen?
From what I understand, it was some gay pedophilia type shit going on.
Right.
That's that's what I got.
And Spacey.
No. So that and I think that's where
he admitted.
No, he didn't admit it.
No, he said if he did what? Now he said if he did do it, he was like blacked out, drunk or something like his mind. He wasn't the same mind.
So here's what I've read. I haven't go fully deep into it. Maybe I just got excerpts, but they said that basically he remembers Kevin Spacey coming on to him when they were doing a Broadway show. He was 14. Kevin Spacey was 26, right? And he said that basically Kevin pushed him on the bed and tried to seduce him, right? Now, I don't know if anything else happened. I don't know, I'm not anywhere condoning Kevin Spacey's actions, but I never read if anything else happened.
I have to reread the article.
Because for me, I'm like, the question is, and maybe we could pull it up, but I was like, I've read, some people said like, yo, like, so here's the deal, Jules. For what I read, they were saying he came out, the dude from Star Trek Discovery said that Kevin Spacey did this. Kevin Spacey responded and was like, yo, I don't really remember this. If I made you feel this way, I apologize. This and that. I could have been drunk. I mean, this and that. And then he kind of deflected a little bit and was like, I'm going through a lot. I've had many relationships, some with men, some with women. So basically, at this point, this is Spacey talking. And he's basically saying, like, and I'm choosing to live as a gay guy now. So I'm already dealing with a whole bunch, and I apologize if I made you feel this way. And now the gay community is basically saying, like, don't do that, bro. Don't try to come out and say that you're gay to deflect from what you did, because we don't need that sort of reference. Because they said pedophilia was already really stereotyped on the gay community. You know what I mean? So now that you getting attached to this pedophilia thing, don't come in trying to say, oh, we gay, looking for support. So my question, and I'm just trying to understand, if nothing happened, because somebody said it was sexual assault, somebody else said it was sexual. What do you call it? I forgot the word. There was assault, and then it was sexual.
Intent?
Not intent. It was. I thought it started with an A. Dang, I cannot remember the word that was used, but it was. There was one with like,
Abuse?
It wasn't abuse. It was more so like I'm approaching you, like sexual misconduct.
Advances?
Yes, sexual advances. Yeah. So like there's a difference between making a sexual assaulting somebody and making a sexual advance. Yeah. You know what I mean?
The kid saying he assaulted.
I don't know what he's saying. Because from what I read, he said he kind of pushed him on the bed and was like, trying to act like he was going to seduce him or whatever.
He said, I was aware that he was trying to get with me sexually.
So, right. So, I don't know. What does that mean?
I guess he was like, he's trying to say, I guess he's saying that he was aware that Kevin Spacey wanted to have sex with him.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
So,
when the dude was 14.
Yeah, 14. Yeah. So, here's where I'm like, okay, crazy shit happens all the time, right? And I know where am I trying to pass this off saying like, all right, trying to condone this or whatever, but I know females that deal with this shit and they 15. You know what I mean? They're getting hit on by motherfuckers that is 26, 27.
No, the block do it all day, man. It's horrible.
That's what I'm saying. It's garbage. But at the same time, it's like, I also know cats that have been caught up, talking to a 16, 17-year-old because they looked at, not that this nigga looked any different than 14.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that there's this overlap that happens that where people are, stepping out of bounds, saying something that was inappropriate, maybe even touching that's appropriate. But if he grabbed his hand or caressed this nigga's chest or something, I'm like, whoa, that's kind of crazy. You know what I mean? Like, you might need to chill a little bit. Like, you stepping out of bounds.
But wouldn't pushing on the bed be the same thing, though?
Well, I mean, I guess, yeah.
Because, you pushing someone on the bed to say you want to have sex with them, that's pretty fucking forward.
Well, he said he knew. That doesn't mean that did he ever say Kevin Spacey said, yo, I'm trying to fuck you? Or being like, that's an innuendo, like pushing you on the bed and being like, trying to grope or whatever. I mean, that's a fucked up experience, period. But at the same time, like, I'm just trying to delineate the saying there's this, he didn't rape a nigga. That's all I'm trying to let people know. Like, there's a big difference between, trying to seduce somebody and then forcing yourself on somebody and making shit happen. Mm-hmm. Now, the weird part, I don't want to say it's weird, but, like, it's 30 years later. And there's just a lot, I don't know, like, I don't know how you verify anybody's story.
It's hard to, because...
And not to say, that's the thing, I'm not trying to say that he's lying.
Yeah, but it's not even that you're saying he's lying. It's like you're looking at a man who's turned around and said, at 14, this happened.
Right. Well,
at
that's
14,
what I'm saying.
you could have interpreted it wrong.
It's completely different.
All right. Well, you just, it's like, why wait so long till you say on it?
Yeah, okay, so this is what I'm reading. So I'm just reading an excerpt. He said, basically, I guess it was at a party or something like that in a bedroom, and where he spent most of the evening. He was like the only teenager, which I don't know why that's the case. But I guess, his memory was that I thought, oh, everyone's gone. Well, yeah, I should probably go home. That's what Rap told BuzzFeed. I'm reading all this from BuzzFeed right now. Mm-hmm. Spacey, he said, sort of stood in the doorway, kind of swaying. My impression was when he came in the room was that he was drunk. ... He picked me up like a groom picks up the bride over the threshold. But I don't like squirming away initially because I'm like, what's going on? And then he lays down on top of me. He was trying to seduce me, Rap said. I don't know if I would have used that language, but I was aware that he was trying to get with me sexually.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's a bit fucking much. There's a lot of fucking much.
Okay, so what is it with the wait 30 years to come out with the story? And is it...
Here's the thing that I'm just...
He was popping when Usual Suspects came out, so why not say something then?
I mean... Here's my thought, and this is why I weigh it. because, I mean, he picks him like a groom, he gets on top of him. He didn't say that he kissed him. He didn't say, not to say that any of the shit that he's doing is appropriate, like, by far. Because if I heard somebody that did my 14-year-old like that, I'm putting my foot in their ass and a gun in their mouth.
And I think that's what probably everyone at with is just like, that was enough right there.
Right. And I agree.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm like, if nothing transpired, nothing happened, or I'm thinking about it like that story that we covered about the girl who actually lied about being raped and the nigga went to jail.
Yeah.
And then come to find out 5 years later, after she got paid a fucking $1 million settlement, that she was
crying wolf, basically.
Yeah. So I don't know how you, like, I don't know. It's weird because, I mean, and not that Kevin would be like, oh yeah, that was me and I definitely did that shit. But at the same time, I'm just like, okay, like Jules is saying this, like, okay, this is 30 years later. This basically, I mean, shit, this comes out of nowhere. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just imagine like right now, you know, you can't even do it right now. We can't even fathom that. Like,
yeah.
we're so far in our career. That's like me being Jules. How old are you, Jules?
Me? 44.
Yeah. Jules being 44, got a kid, all the rest of that stuff. And somebody was like, yeah, Jules tried to push up on, you know, when I was 13, he took me behind the swing and rubbed on my ass, you know, and he was fucking 24. And Jules was like, fuck, that was 20 years ago. Like, so you trying to do all this shit to recollect, especially, you know, drinking and all the rest of this shit. So now you can't even combat that, because you can't be like, nah, that never happened. Because you don't even have a memory.
But in the position that he was in, what he does remember is they was wilding back then, right? Mm-hmm. Partying, drinking, whatever it is.
I don't even know if that was him. I don't even know if Kevin Spacey even admitted that part. I thought the drunken shit came from the team, the guy.
Basically, hold on. He said his impression was he was drunk. He said my impression was that he was drunk because he was swaying in the room and wouldn't let him out the room. So basically, he was like, okay, and it was a party, so I'm like, 9 times out of 10, he probably was drunk.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, and Kevin Spacey, it's like, damn, if I was drunk and I did that, my bad. I didn't have no idea.
Right. Exactly. So that's what I'm like, I don't even know how to feel. Like, if that happened, I feel like that's really fucked up. Yeah. That's super fucked up.
Right.
But I don't even know how it's. Hey, man. I don't want to say no more. This shit is just a really fucked up situation because I'm not trying to take sides.
What are your thoughts about? Because what are your thoughts like with Netflix canceling?
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's so much.
Is it too much? You think?
Like
to skip ahead and
so let me say this. Look. So let's say this. Let's say this Harvey Weinstein shit pops off. Never pops off. Does this have the same effect on Kevin Spacey?
Is Weinstein going to run for president though? No, I'm just had to ask.
No, we already got a president that's kind of like that.
Got one nigga grand pussy. I said we don't even know shit.
It's a you know that the larger scheme of it is that industry has its secrets.
Oh yeah, dark room. Yeah, it's coming out,
and that's exactly. And so that's the thing, like, you know.
But this happens in the hood every day,
right? But I think with Hollywood though, it has a way bigger stigma because like I said, we all heard the stories, all heard the rumors, all heard the conspiracies about the shit, and it's like now we know that shit to be true. It's like, okay, so we know, and then kind of like someone like what's my man name?
Cosby?
No. 80 Scene Star, Lost Boys, Goonies.
Corey Haim and Corey
Feldman,
yeah.
You know, Feldman. I remember like it was like Inside Edition or something.
Yeah, when he was talking about they were getting passed around him and Corey, him and his boy.
Yeah, he basically said pedophilia is hands down the absolute biggest problem in Hollywood. He said this without his. I think he even said in an interview that he knows pretty much who caused Corey Haim's suicide.
Yeah,
like he know what major executive is the reason why what drove him to suicide. Like he know who caused that, but he never said anything. And I think this is the other thing I think about too. Like you said, I didn't say nothing because because of who it is, I don't have it's just it is what it is. I won't be able to really be able to defend it.
Yeah, right.
So and I know what he's saying. It was just two things. Like legally, I won't be able to defend it. I probably don't have the money that this person got. Because he said either they doing it or the powers that be that's giving them the power to do it is giving them the access. You know what I'm saying? So if you got like big people with infinite amount of money backing you, who the fuck are you to fight them?
Yeah.
Or it's gonna be a thing where you could end up missing. And who the fuck wants to end up missing in Hollywood?
I get it. I totally get it. I guess it's just so much coming out right now. Like, I just hate that this shit happen to anybody, period.
Evil, man. You getting exposed,
but even outside of that, you just try to figure out, like, what's real and what's not real. Because anybody can say anything. That's the issue.
Yeah.
Like, and like, at this point,
the court of public opinion is gonna say if you say we gotta believe it. Like, and I understand that, because it is a lot. Because as history has shown, human history has shown, shit like rape culture has been a thing since literally human civilization.
Well, I mean, it's the whole idea of the whole idea of it being wrong to be with kids. Well, the idea of kids is relatively new as well.
Right.
Like, niggas was getting married at 13 and 14. Like,
right. Right. And back, with our roots, going back to our like great grandparents and shit like that being like ex-slaves and shit like that, like our history, we already know like some of them like in late 19th century or early 20th century, they was getting knocked up and married at 13, 14 and
right.
shit.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
right.
this isn't like, it's not like this is how it's always been. Like, we just, we feel like we've evolved past these points. We've decided like kids are kids, and so we try to classify that shit. And I agree, but I'm like, I don't know if that necessarily takes out evolutions. Like, because I remember like Erykah Badu caught flack for saying that shit not too long ago. She was saying, it may have been during the Cosby situation. But she made a statement saying something to the extent of she can understand why a grown man could be attracted to a 15-year-old. And not necessarily like I talk to you and I know that you're a kid, but more so like,
if I'm looking at you from a distance,
right.
I don't know if you're a grown woman or not.
I mean, right?
Yeah.
Like,
or like if I'm inebriated or something like that, I don't know if you're grown. Because I have women in my family growing up.
Shit,
that was built like fucking 25, 30-year-olds when it was in high school.
It just happened to a basketball player, right? Like, somebody just got caught up like 4 days ago. Damn, or was it? No, it was the game.
Oh, yeah, with that shit, yeah.
The same shit. That's the same shit. She got into a place on a fake ID, got with the game smashed, and now she's supposed to be pregnant, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know if I don't know if she's pregnant now, but
I don't know.
But she's under 18. She's like 16.
Oh, snap.
Game damn near 40.
Right, exactly. So he's like, yo, I'm thinking the nigga in the club is doing his job.
But why would you go naked head though?
You said what?
Why would you go naked? And even just like what?
I mean,
think about it. It's like, yo, you just don't depend on somebody at the club.
I don't think it. Well, I'm thinking
a decision to even go that route.
Well,
and you still don't even.
But
the thing is, well, I think the going commando is like second tier, to the fact that, because think about it, it was like, if I hadn't said that she's pregnant, you'd be like, yo, that's fucked up, this nigga smashing a 16-year-old. Yeah. Like, that's the kid thing is just icing on the cake. Yeah. So the fact of the matter is, shouldn't no 16-year-olds be in this motherfucker in the first place?
Exactly, but at the same time, it's like, you got, as a grown man, you got to protect yourself.
Well, that's,
like, why would you even...
niggas out there living life. You know what I mean? He's like, I'm a fucking millionaire. If you do have a kid, I can pay for the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't give a shit. I don't want to take. It's like that. What was that? Don't Be a Menace. It's like,
that's crazy.
When they had that joke where what was it? Shawn Wayans was talking to his dad, even though he was older than his dad.
Oh yeah.
He was like, nigga, you be wearing condoms? He was like, nah. He was like, good, me either. They take away all the feeling. That's every fucking nigga in a celebrity right now. Niggas is raw dogging strippers, raw dog, and it doesn't matter. They're like, yo, I got money, I can pay for this shit.
Right.
I just want to go for this feeling right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like us to the regular nigga, this is like, nigga, I'm definitely not raw dogging a chick right now that is not my wife, and even then, depending on relationship, that might be questionable. So, I don't know. I just feel like we're in a different place. I just feel like it's hard for us to, like, I just feel bad if, you know, I feel bad for dude. I feel bad. I mean, I don't know if I necessarily feel bad for Kevin Spacey, but I do feel like it's just a weird situation because it's just like, damn, dog, you getting caught up on shit that you did 30 years ago. But then the other part of me is like, well, shit. Same thing with Harvey Weinstein.
How serious was it that he talks about it 30 years later? I mean, it's just like, it's tricky. It's like, whose word is valid here?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You know? Like, I mean, honestly, would this be the same conversation we dealing with Cosby? Because had this shit been thrown out with Cosby, we'd be like, yo, that's fucking crazy. That's 40 years ago. But then 37 other motherfuckers followed up, was like, nah, he did me too. And everybody's like, oh, this actually might be a thing. Like,
or kind of like with African Bambaataa, you know, like say that dude was 50. He came out crying but that's what's like, at the same time, I understand that, you know, if that's doing some psychological shit too.
Dude, no, definitely. I definitely.
You know what I'm saying? If it's doing some if it's gonna fuck with you psychologically for however long, you can't really judge that person, because if it's fucked with you psychologically to the point, especially if you're young and it happened to you, you know. And especially if you try to say something, you know, and we have seen,
and then nobody was listening to you,
because they think like, oh well, kids lie, kids make up shit like that. No, you just crying wolf, and they more, and a lot of times they not crying wolf. This shit really is happening.
I mean, it's real. I mean,
and it's fucked up because it's like, now they going throughout their life, no one believe, now they gotta live with the shame, and then be like, man, fuck it. Now I see the opportunity, I'm gonna say something. I think that's where a lot of them, and that's why I never kind of take that for advantage, because I know that shit to be real. So it's like, damn. So it's like, but shit does happen too. So it's like, damn, like.
Well, but that's the thing. You know the shit to be the opposite way too. You know, motherfuckers will go off and lie, be like, oh yeah. Like I know teachers that got fired because motherfuckers was lying. Yo, he touched me. He did this. He did that. But I also think about like dude, that shit is just a tough call, dog. That shit is just like.
It's a dangerous accusation.
It's just super dangerous. Yeah, but that's the other thing about it though, bro. Because this nigga's 44. You know what I'm saying? He's 44, man, saying this 30 years later. The dude is talking this shit. Because that was 30 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So the crazy part about it is actually 20 years ago. No, 30 years ago. So he's 44, and he's coming out and he's saying this shit. And you're like, yo, this nigga could be lying. But in the same breath, you're like, but why the fuck would he say that shit, though?
Like what do you have? Like, what do you have
maybe
to
he got
gain?
the courage to do it now versus then.
Oh, no, that's real. I'm just saying, like...
Right, what do you have to gain by saying it?
Right, I mean, but it's so, like...
It's out there.
Well, not only is it out there, but it's weird because it's not, like... quote-unquote, like, he made me feel, like, weird. Because, you know, he picked me up and laid me on the bed, you know...
And that which is sick in its own right.
I mean,
so from...
I'm just trying to look at just strictly just from facts. Not even trying to put emotion behind it, but I'm just thinking about how weird it would be to be some grown-ass man pick me up and lay on the bed. Yes, that's uncomfortable. Yeah, that nigga tried to get on top of me. Like, I remember my dad telling me stories about his teacher back in high school, following him, being kind of stalkerish, holding his... Like, just doing crazy shit. I can understand how it fucks with your psychology of shit. You know, him being like, yo, this dude will not fucking leave me alone. And he's in a position of authority.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So now it's like a really fucked up situation.
Right.
But nothing happened after that, though. That's the weird part to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't say, yo, he kissed, he made me kiss him. He didn't do any of this shit. You know, he didn't, you know, he rubbed me for a while. Like, none of that shit. Like, so I don't know if that's just where it cuts off. And then he was like, I got the fuck up out of there because the nigga's nasty and crazy. So now I'm like, all right, I don't know what to think.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like one of those things we know to be a hairy situation because no one wants to say someone, because the thing about it is you never want to say someone being crazy or someone lying, because nowadays
it could be true.
It
like
could be
a motherfucker.
True like a motherfucker, and all you did was just be dismissive of someone's plight, and all you did was just become another additional problem to that person. At the same time, it's kind of like the thing like with black men back in the 20th century. Is like, you know, we know false rape accusations, especially
like
within
a motherfucker.
Like especially within the early half of the 20th century. We know that's real against black dudes. Like Emmett Till's shit.
That's still happening now.
Like, right, it's still happening now.
They just had a case where a girl was like, I came in and it was like I was raped by like 3, it's like, or jumped or something like that by 3 black guys, and they had it on video or some shit.
A whole civil rights movement got started off of a fucking lie.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Off of a fucking lie, off of a bitch lying. You know, a bitch lying about a boy, a 14-year-old whistling at her, and the shit never fucking. She came back decades upon, like 50, 60, 70 years later.
70 years old.
70 saying, well, no, that never really happened. So you ain't got this boy killed basically for nothing.
For nothing.
So, you know what I'm saying? So, and then you have to look at shit like that.
I mean, shit, you know, it's like Rosewood.
Like a Rosewood, right. The whole Rosewood massacre because of a lie.
Because of a lie.
And so it's kind of like, so you know, and that's one of the things, like when you know history to be, you know, against black dudes, especially, that's been a fucked up thing in America to have that kind of stigma put on you. Thank you, racism. You know, it's kind of like shit. So, you know, I can't understand why someone would think the opposite because of what history has shown to be shown to be true. But at the same time, history has also shown since civilization, rape has been some fucked up shit.
Super fucked up shit.
Niggas, no matter who you are, whether you black, white, red, green, purple, young, old, niggas out here doing some evil, demonic, hateful shit with rape. So it's kind of like, damn. So I'm like, so what can you say to that? It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, so that's when I hate that the dude when he was young had to go through that, and it's fucked up. Like, especially if all that shit went down exactly like you said. Yeah, it's fucked up because it should never happen. And my nigga, you are grown. Why y'all drinking around a fucking underage kid anyway like that? You know, it's something you gotta kind of think about. But it's kind of like,
I mean, it's 80s. You know what I mean? They on Broadway. They doing all these other different stuff. I mean, that shit's crazy, bro. Like, I don't know. It's funny because I guess it'll just bring us to the last one. I don't know how the fuck we got here, but we talk about stuff that we saw, right?
Right.
So it makes me think of the show that I just got into 2 episodes in, Mindhunters.
How is that?
Mindhunters, that's why I said this is the perfect segue. It's literally the birth of criminal psychology. So it's about these 2 psychologists that are working for the FBI that are trying to get them to change the way that they view crime and homicide and why shit happens. And the fight they had to go through to get people to understand that motives just isn't, you know, I don't like you, bam, you know, like this simple, like crazed lover, shit like that. Like, more so like, it talks about the advent, well, kind of sort of the advent of the serial killer. They didn't know to call it a serial killer. Like, they didn't know to put together like all these people that keep getting murdered had the same MO for some fucking reason. And we can't figure it out. So it literally just talks about them developing this and trying to get the FBI to change the way they think about criminals. Like that criminality can be random, can be crazy. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to have these 2-3 motives. And if we can't, we can't figure that out, then we've hit a wall. Like, we have to start digging into the psyche of people. So, like, they got help from a serial killer. You know what I mean? They go to this person that's, they call him the co-ed killer. And he's, killing women or whatever. And he basically was like, the only reason why I got caught was because I let you motherfuckers catch me. He was like, I used to kick it around cops, so I studied y'all psychology. So
so he was kind of like John Doe off of 7. He let himself get caught.
Right, exactly. But they were cool with him. Like, even when he's in this penitentiary where they're going to visit him now, he, like, the cops are like, hey, you want a sandwich? You want that? Like, he's like a regular, like, kind of nerdy guy, except he's 6'9", 330. But outside of that, he starts telling them, like, and this is why it goes back to what I was thinking before, like, it's easy. It's easy for us to say this shit is evil, this shit is demonic, this shit is, has some sort of destitute spirit connected to it, right? Mm-hmm. But you start to think, like, what happened to the motherfuckers that are actually committing the crimes that we've caught? You know what I mean? So, like, for example, like, we talk about our great-grandfathers. If they've never learned how to appreciate a woman or how to raise kids, and you get your ass whooped because your father got his ass whooped from his grandfather because he got his ass whooped from the slave master, and this is how you bring up a child. Like, whose fault is it really?
Because it got passed down.
It got passed down. It's conditioning. Like, that's why we always say, like, I didn't have to go through this. I had to do, this is how I was raised, so this is how I'm going to raise your ass. Well, times are different. Things are different. Like, you can't even, think about it. You got a son. You can't even do the shit to your son that was probably done back when you were coming up. Like, you can, like, hotline them motherfuckers. Like, you can go to, dude, just think about it. Fucking 40 years ago, 50 years ago, like when our grandparents were raised, like they had advertisements saying that you could spank women if she gets out of line. That's fucking crazy. But where does that come from? Where does that conditioning come from? So if we're thinking that's right,
it's a societal standard.
It's a societal standard, exactly. But those things change.
Right.
But the thing is, if the societal standard changes while you're growing up, now it's just like, because we see it all the time. We see a kid acting out. We like, that little nigga get his ass. He needs his ass whooping. That nigga need a good whooping. But now that's not okay.
Because you don't do it, because it's abuse.
Exactly. You could, dude, think about it. When we were growing up, was that the 90s? Maybe early 2000s, where a girl actually fucking divorced her parents?
Oh, y'all got emancipated?
Dog, what the fuck? Nigga, think about if our grandparents had that option.
Then Gary Coleman did that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Think about it. Now, did our grandparents have that option?
Hell no.
Exactly. So as we start to become more evolved, more understanding, more progressive, the laws change, and the things that we deem unacceptable or acceptable become unacceptable. You know what I mean? So now we have to think about our own thinking. Like, where the fuck did this come from? Like, am I mad at you or mad? Where the fuck did you learn this from? It's like when you catch a kindergartner, cussing and shit.
Right, or use some racist language. Like, you're not gonna get mad at the little kid. I'm gonna be mad. So who the fuck taught you that?
Right, like, where the fuck did you get that from? Like, you mad because now your kid knows the language, but then you realize that he's 7 or 8 and he's just repeating some shit. But the crazy thing is, you still got to worry about that relationship between your son or your kid and the little racist motherfucker. Because I promise you, like, I learned the word nigga from a white friend of mine.
Same here.
You know what I'm saying? And I didn't even know what it means. And I didn't know what it meant until my father told me, he was like, yo, we're not going to use that word. That's not a good word. And I was like, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? So he wasn't necessarily mad at me. I don't think he was mad at him, at my friend.
Right.
But now my friend is older.
Right.
And now, before the hidden racism was okay in these white circles. But now you got white woke to a degree. Mm-hmm. So now they're going to call you out. Yeah, you can't be thinking like that, G. Like, I mean, kind of, sort of. I'm not going to say I agree, but I understand, like, the white nationalists, they meant, like, yo, Southern pride. Why the fuck you tearing down all the stuff that means shit to us? And we like, nigga, because these motherfuckers killed and raped and did all sorts of shit?
Right, so it's connected to racism and slavery, motherfucker.
Right, exactly.
Like slavery and genocide.
But think about it. So you got a nigga that's 65 was like, yo, this just became not okay. For the past 55 years that I've been on this earth, this shit was fine.
Right, but the thing about it is some things like it may have been acceptable by law, but it means it was not. But for us, we know it was never accepted morally.
Right.
Like on a moral standard, it never was cool. It never will be cool.
It was cool though.
No. I'm talking about like if you're really trying to. I'm talking about because it was cool because it was law. You could do it and get away with it. But if you're talking about,
but the laws were based on
some bullshit.
Or more, but they were based on morals. But the laws were based on perspective.
Yeah, right.
So like
a fucked up perspective. Yeah,
agreed.
Right.
But if like they use slavery to,
justifiable, but it's bullshit.
Well, they use the Bible to justify slavery and slavery to justify bullshit. You know what I mean? But that's all one perspective of the Bible.
Right.
So, but if at that whole time, while you're growing up, people are telling you this is the right way to think, because all these are just thoughts.
Right, because it's kind of like what even though I watched the movie, like Nat Turner said, like, yeah, you didn't read the whole motherfucking thing.
Right, exactly.
You know
You cherry picked the fuck out of this.
Right,
thing.
you didn't pick everything else. That's like, yeah, you also shouldn't be doing
X, Y, Z.
You know what I'm
right,
saying?
exactly.
So it's kind of like, damn. So it's like, but I agree with you. It's just like, you know, when you look at, like, slavery was never cool, and it's slaving another human being and taking their rights away and taking their freedom away by any regard is fucked up beyond any regard. That's why, people always had a problem with the modern prison system now, because technically it's a workaround of the 13th Amendment.
Right, it's true. Agreed.
You know what I'm saying?
But here's what I'm saying. But think about that. Just think about in the grand scope of the world. Mm-hmm. Like, slavery been around since the beginning of time.
Like I said, human civilization.
Right, exactly. So now us on the 21st century are like, yo, this is a bad idea. So it took it took us this long for us to decide, like, yo, this is probably a bad idea.
Right.
So the motherfuckers that grew up and benefited off the motherfucker, they don't want to see that shit leave.
Right.
Because they're like, yo, just because you think that way don't make it right. Just like us, we're like, yo, just because you think that way don't make it right.
Right.
So really, we're just trying to convince each other, like, what is right and what is wrong.
Right. And I think it just comes down to about, like, I think the main piece of a lot of this shit comes down, and I think it's just a lack of it in humanity already, it's just compassion. Like, I think it's really not a lot of compassion out here for a lot of people, because everyone want to be savage as fuck or be dragging and just because that's what society has set now. You know what I'm saying? But I think that, but the compassion piece, just trying to understand, okay, what if this person's really telling the truth about something, because everyone can't be lying.
Right, agreed.
You know what I'm saying? Because everyone can't be lying about something.
Right.
So it's like, okay, let me hear you out, because for all intents and purposes, I may feel this way, like you kind of said, but it may not be the right mindset. So let me put myself in your shoes and let me show empathy.
Right.
Let me go ahead and just put myself, what if this happened to me, and what if I was this kind of person? Like, okay, because A, B, and C happened to this person. If I experienced the same shit and was in the exact same scenario, I wouldn't like this shit either. So let me try to be on a more understanding tip and just try to, okay, I do see what you mean. I have your reason. I get it. Now, like you said earlier, now, is every situation probably like that? More than likely not. Are there a whole lot of situations that are? Yes. And that's kind of like it's kind of the fucked up thing I think that a lot of people don't understand is, like, unfortunately, throughout human history, it's been way more situations of motherfuckers getting raped than not. Unfortunately,
it's just the it's the perspective. It's like,
right,
everybody's like, the man is held on a higher priority to women, so we can do this, and then to have another man, because they are on the highest thing, is supposed to be the greatest of all things. And if I can, like, they said that the kings used to be able to walk through the crowds and choose, I want him in my cell, I want her in my cell. They can be anywhere from 10 to 35. But even, you can even extrapolate that and go there further when motherfucking civilizations were literally sacrificing other motherfuckers,
right?
For a belief.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is like, it's almost like the same thing as, like, we deal with Afghanistan. Like, how do we tell somebody else that their way is wrong when their way has been around just as long as we have, if not longer? You know what I mean? Not to say that I'm cool with killing people or covering up or whatever it is. All these are streams of thought, but those thoughts come from us being conditioned to our societal, we're just an amalgamation of societal thoughts.
Right.
And what we choose to accept and what we choose not to accept. So that's why I'm like, that shit is really, like, it's crazy as fuck. Because the thing is, like, if old boy is not telling the truth, then it's fucked up for Kevin Spacey. But if he is telling the truth, it's fucked up for him. And fuck Kevin Spacey.
Right.
You know what I mean? But we don't have a time lens to go back and try to be able to see this shit. It's just crazy because there's no way to even hear both, like, legitimately both sides.
So you think? No, I see what you mean, because it's basically saying, like, we're just we're just up and believing one thing and not even trying to consider the other
Right,
side.
and exactly, and that's how it happens. Like that's why, like you feel bad. Like I felt bad for Cosby. Like there's a piece of me that would like who. There's a bias there because I love Cosby, grew up on Cosby.
Right. Same,
and then
right.
you hear this shit, you like, see, this is the fucking shit I'm talking about. They're up in line. They're trying to get this man. You know, and all these conspiracy theories start falling from the sky. Like, this, you know, they're only going after Cosby because he was trying to buy NBC and all the rest of this stuff. And then 5 more women come out.
And then more people
come out. And you're like, okay, so
everybody
now.
can't be lying.
It's like, right, everybody can't be lying. Or is everybody just trying to get a payday because these 1-2 have opened up the floodgates?
Right, and I think at that point, and I think where a lot of people, and that's where the sympathy and empathy part come in there, is that a lot of people say, well, it just happened one time, but that's all it takes. It's
exactly. It's all it takes. Never
It's all it takes. It's kind of like you having sex with a woman getting pregnant. Like, it only takes one time to fuck
like
someone.
Jules was saying, like, why is nigga
right, it only takes one
waiting
time.
on the club security to protect him?
Right, so you know, it takes one time to fuck up, and then you got a kid, to stay in a second too long, and that's it.
Well,
So,
here's the thing, though.
You know what I'm saying?
But the funny thing about that is like, that's why I said it's really our perspective, because some motherfuckers don't care. Like, we look at it as a bad thing.
Right.
We're like, oh my God, you having a kid out of wedlock, you over here doing this and that.
Mm-hmm.
But he was like, dude, I got 10 brothers from 5 different moms. You know what I'm saying? Like, this was my way of life. Like, this is what the fuck we do. Like, I don't give a shit. I was like, I can pay this. I'm a millionaire. I got, as long as I take care of my kids, who the fuck cares who I'm fucking? You know what I mean? And that don't even come into play unless she's 18 or older. All right. You know what I mean? So, like, there's all these little caveats that we try to say, okay, well, this is okay. Well, this is okay only if this is okay. Well, if this if it's a whole bunch of if-then clauses.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And those if-then clauses can change depending on where we are in our fucking civilization.
Very true. I mean, societal standards change all the time, so... But yeah, I mean, but the end of the day, man, it's just like how
it's fucked up regardless.
It's fucked up regardless. Like I said, if Kevin Spacey really did that shit, then that mean nigga, you Frank Underwood for real. And I'm just like, I'm like, dog, you Frank Underwood for real. I can't condone that shit, dog. At all. Like I can't respect no man to do that shit.
It's kind of awkward too, because when you think about it, R. Kelly married a baby.
Well, that's what they say.
And you know what I'm saying?
And people still support.
It
his
still
music,
support the
still support him.
Like, and that's where it comes. Is like, and that's
Society
where like it's crude as fuck, because it's like we know, like, we got proof that like we have tangible evidence that was literal child pornography circling the internet, my nigga.
Shit, even before that.
You know what I'm saying?
When he got married to Aaliyah, like,
right?
Well, that's what I was talking about.
Right.
He married a baby.
Right, he got married a baby, and I'm saying, and then so on top of that, after when the when his allegations came out, it was literally like hella comedians made fun of him, but it's fucked up because in the day, a lot of people participated in what? Child pornography. So it's like, we like, fuck, that means, like, if you watch that tape, you participated in watching child pornography.
So here's the weird part, though.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you're not legal, if you're not of 18 by federal law, you're still a minor.
Right.
You're still a minor. So it don't matter what a state law is.
Well,
federal law
I
says
mean, even
this.
if you playing with those laws, nigga, if you 18 smashing a 16-year-old, you fucking out of bounds.
Right, but we know with R. Kelly, though.
Well, no.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, but there's really no difference. We're just more accepting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're like, oh, you should know because you fucking 30 and you over here fucking the 16-year-old. Where the 18-year-old is like, by law, you were still an adult, and you fucking. We're like, okay, it's cool because
You talking about the Romeo and Juliet law? That's what you talking about?
yeah, I'm 2 years older than you, so it's a little more accepted.
Yeah, that's the Romeo and Juliet clause law. I know exactly what you're talking about. Now, between like someone who's barely legal versus someone who just became legal.
Dude, like, for example, think about how many. Like, I know dudes that have smashed freshmen. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if you go to school, you skip a grade, go to college, you're a senior, you smashing a freshman? You could say high school or you could say fucking college. It shit's still gross. You know, it's a little. Well, it's not really gross, but it's weird because you think about like a senior smashing a freshman, but that's really only like a 3-year difference. That's not really as far spread out. Now we think of it in terms of mentality. We're like they're on different waves. Like that's how we define what is what. But when you think about it, it's like if we're going by federal law, everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people have fucking crossed the line.
Right, and that's what I'm saying with something like that. That's what I'm saying. That's the Romeo Juliet law. So there's a difference there. It's not like R. Kelly marrying Aaliyah. This is someone like I said earlier. It's someone that's legal, maybe like 18, 19, like dealing with someone that's maybe 16, 17, or something like that. That's the Romeo Juliet. That's what I'm saying. There's a difference. You got the Romeo Juliet law, which is what you're talking about, and then you have statutory rape. So there's like a straight difference in that. That's what I'm saying. Legally, there is a difference. And that's I had to read because I just read that up recently. That's the only reason I kind of know what it's called.
I mean, no, and that's real.
You know
I mean, and all I'm saying is, as a society, we're just kind of, like you said, like you said about the Bible, shit is just picking. It's cherry picked.
Right.
It's kind of like how I felt about the Dove ad. Like I was still unsure, like how I really felt about it because we only took a snapshot of what was going on because the black woman turned into a white woman, and then turned into a Latino woman.
I haven't even seen the fucking thing.
That's a video, but it's like the snapshot of it.
Well, it's just a black woman turning into a white woman. They didn't even play the whole video. So
so it was more too. So it was more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't throw the Dove out at the house.
You're right. Well,
they had the whole pack from Sam's.
Right. I mean, you still gonna do what's right for you economically, but everybody was saying like, oh, like Dove has been a culprit in this shit before though, about kind of putting like questionable ads out there, and because of that, everybody just jumped on the wagon and was like, yo, this is fucked up. It didn't get the whole story. And I'm not and not that I'm saying I condone it. I mean, somebody probably should have been like,
what, this could be poor choice though.
Yeah. But that shit people make poor choices all the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean there was any sort of malice that was behind it. Like, we really trying to say that black people need to get clean and become white. Like, I don't know if that necessarily was the goal.
When I seen the commercial in, I guess,
in totality,
it was kind of awkward because I really just was like, what are they trying to even sell here? It's awkward, man. It's really awkward. But to me, I look at it like, that's your business. There's a certain limit, period. Maybe that part of the scene should have never even went that route, or reverse it.
Yeah.
But if you reversed it,
then you got another.
Your mind goes into a place of, oh, really? Would that even? Come on, it's not. If you have to think about it, don't do it. If you know what I'm saying?
So what I was told, and this could have just been a stretch, but they were saying that they were attempting to try to recreate the Michael Jackson black and white video. Mm-hmm. When they were saying it's black, is white, and all the faces just kept changing and all the rest of stuff. So they were trying to do, I guess, somewhat of a modern version.
Yeah. Then they could have did a modern version then.
Right.
Isn't that what they was doing?
Well, yeah. I mean, it was a stretch. It was a bit of a stretch.
With Michael. Michael spent money on that commercial. I mean, on that video 20 plus years ago.
Yeah.
And that to me was you took that differently.
Well,
But the Dove ad, man, that's a little awkward, man.
I think I agree. I definitely agree. And I guess nowadays it gets a little questionable because I wonder with the way that society is heading, do we allow people the opportunity to be wrong and not come at them label them automatically because of their beliefs or what the statement that they choose to make, may not be the best form of communication. Maybe they didn't say the right thing at the right time. But do we give them an opportunity to be like, yo, I fucked up or I'm wrong? Because honestly, I feel like where we are right now is people battle each other so much. Like somebody can be dead wrong and it's not even about truth anymore. It's just about doing whatever I can to show that I'm right. Even if I'm skewing shit, if I'm, telling half truths in order to make it sound like I know what I'm talking about. Yeah. But, like they say, a lot of people feel like we don't have conversations anymore. It's really just...
No, we don't.
It's just a back and forth all the time.
The microscope, whatever that's social media. And I think everybody looks through that window and judges everything. Oh, I just ranted on the video on Instagram because I feel like we don't give anything a chance versus we accept certain things, which is way out of control. You know what I mean? Kind of.
Well, do you think like society? Do you think a society is curbing our ability to be compassionate?
Yep.
Yeah, we've been numb.
Oh yeah,
we've been numb for a
absolutely.
minute.
Oh yeah, I could say that without hesitation. Absolutely.
Because of the
Humankind is moving towards apathy like a motherfucker.
Yeah, think about it. This man just broke his leg on TV a few weeks back, or whatever that was.
Apathy.
And it goes from sadness for the moment, and you know the internet just starts posting pictures and memes.
Or like
That's
Chrisette,
that man in shambles.
Or like Chrisette Michelle. Like, you know, she'll have Chrisette Michelle, people still dogging the shit out of her. And she telling everyone she had suicide attempts, miscarriages, and depression issues.
Well, but the question is, though, but that goes back to, like, is she only saying that to save face?
If she, but that's the thing, though. We can't just say, well, and that's the kind of
Whether
thing that's
she
kind
is
of
or
hard.
she not, that's on her in her heart.
Right.
Low key, it's really on us to how we interpret it. But I think we don't give her a chance or give
Right, because we can forget. No, that's what I'm saying. Because she's a celebrity, I think a lot of
celebrities
times
are seen or look to be like y'all can deal with it.
They're anything but human.
Yeah.
But in the day,
Well,
y'all human too.
I think it's just, and maybe it could just be the position. You know what I mean? Because the decision that she made was such a polarizing decision. Because she was like, because everybody else it's almost like the whole NFL, the take a knee thing. You know, like either we're going to boycott and watch or we're not going to watch. So with them, everybody was not fucking. You had Steve Harvey that was fucking with Trump, sort of. And then nobody else wanted to fucking do the inauguration or whatever it is that she sang it. So she's like, I'm going to be a bridge. So right now you're like, okay. This dude blatantly doesn't give a fuck about minorities, and you still gonna go support him. And she's like, well, I'm gonna try to be a bridge to let them know about our struggle. So supposedly she had subliminals in there singing about, you know, working together and shit like that. But there's a caveat to that. Because everybody's like, well, you also made a bag like a motherfucker with that. Like, you got paid $700,000 to do that shit.
She was supposed to get paid way fucking more than that originally, and then we she end up getting that. But the thing about it was people don't. The thing about it is, I think what fucked up was like the way she kind of like how people said the way she handled it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the way she kind of handled the whole situation. Now, mind you, karma is a motherfucker. Kind of like I said on Facebook, I was like, karma is a motherfucker, but to go through, you know, the mass amount of depression, and if you having suicidal thoughts and you having miscarriages as a woman, you know, I don't understand this shit because I'm a man, so I don't understand shit about a miscarriage like that. But as a woman, I can only imagine how much psychological trauma, depending on the person, that can have on you. And if you got everything else going on top of that, and then let's say if you was a person that been trying to have a kid, now you fucking can't, and you know that can do something to you. Put them kind of thoughts in your head. It don't make it better that, like we said earlier, fucking
but
society
the
don't
is,
have fucking won't have apathy for.
Well,
we
don't. Society doesn't give, like, what do they call it? You don't get that chance to when in doubt. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't when you just go ahead and give it to the other person. It's like, yeah, he might be lying, but whatever. Like, you know, there's none of that. Like, we're gonna call you out. So that's why I thought the biggest thing was like, yeah, you did this shit for Trump. You got paid $700,000. Now, you trying to say that you wanted to be a bridge, but really you just wanted to, you know, people are calling into question
what was your intention?
Your whole intentions. And that's what it's always about. It's like, what did you intend?
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, now, mind you, like the karma that she got for so like, hey, I'm losing my money. We knew that was going to happen, and karma's a bitch, but it was like, I think the mass amount of all the extra on top of shit.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Everyone was like, damn, chill, like shit. Like,
but
chill,
the question
karma.
the question is, people start calling it in the question though. Like, instead of giving her, that's what it is, the benefit of the doubt, and be like, okay, whatever. But when shit starts to get so low, like you said, karma starts rolling out. If that is what it is, people start calling in the question like, okay, like Kevin Spacey and the gay thing. Are you just looking for sympathy because shit isn't working out the way that you planned it? So you start concocting all this other shit that you know people will feel sorry for you for, and everybody's like, nope, fuck that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't believe you.
But you guess what? The thing about it is kind of like just with the same thing with gay shit, anything else. It's kind of like the old phrase goes: "What's done in the dark gonna come to light." So if you gonna go ahead and lie about all shit, eventually it's gonna come back and bite you. You know what I'm saying? It's just the way the universe works. So it's like it's gonna come back on you. If this shit ain't really true and you lied about it, it's gonna come back on you sooner or later. And that's the thing about it.
Why are we so critical on her move? Real talk. Where mostly everybody who judges her is not stuff that they stopping. What we can't. What I guess and what I'm trying to say is, like when regular people, we turn around, we be sitting there, oh, she wild out, she did that, la la la. She got an opportunity, she got paid, that's her job, right?
Right.
At the same time, we've been critical on her for doing it because what it represents, right?
Correct.
This cat sitting here still watching football, still
yeah.
stuff.
Well,
like, listen,
but I think
if you can't be put on blast, you're going to keep doing this stuff that you think doesn't matter or doesn't really count for you because, so what? I'm not in that limelight. So you think you're fine. But at the end of the day, we still support all the same stupid stuff. We still do the things that we judge somebody else on for doing.
Always.
And that's true, man. But, I mean, at the end of the day, man, and we're going to have to wrap it up right in a second. But I mean, it's just one of those things, man. I mean, bottom line is to bring everything back full circle, I should say, about Kevin Spacey situation. My nigga, if you really did that shit, then everything that coming to you and everything, you fucking deserve. Flat out. I mean, that's straight up, that's how I feel. Like, if that's really what you did, my nigga, then you deserve every bit of what you get. You deserve any bit of carbon you get.
Because this show went a different route.
You know, he said, we all.
Hey, be called the Spacey Factor.
Right. Well,
shit, actually, that should be the name of the show, the Spacey Factor.
Yeah, or Spaced Out. Yeah.
That's actually, I might use that.
But listen, man, there was a lot of topics we didn't get to talk about, man.
But we got next episode. Shit.
Next episode we'll definitely touch up on, because I did see Miles Teller twice. Only the Brave and...
You started Stranger Things, too.
No.
I saw Stranger Things,
the movie, the film that came out, Only the Brave. I just watched that, and Thank You for Your Service.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Listen, man. Both of those films are really good and worth watching, especially before the rush of the genre that we cater to definitely hits. Those movies are really good. But just to see Miles Teller, the kid who played Mr. Fantastic on Fantastic Four.
Right, yeah.
Just to see him as an actor on a different level. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Oh, man.
Nice.
And Josh Brolin, he's a beast.
Nice.
Well, tell them where they can hit you up at, Jules.
Oh, you can hit me up, man. Jules Unique, Jules UNIQUE at gmail.com, or on Instagram, Facebook, Jules Unique. You can follow, friend requests, all of that stuff, man. And the Lando Cal page, too, as well.
James.
JBJ Official on Twitter and Instagram. Don't too much upload on SoundCloud, so just email me if you want some beats at jbjrofficial@gmail.com. Make sure you support the studio here at Suburban Pro, man, down at 3739 South Jefferson, down St. Louis City in the South Side, 5 Jefferson and Chippewa. And, keep on lookout of, the other podcasts I do, Fruit of the Boom, every Monday. We release every Monday morning, so interviewing different producers, engineers, and DJs, so holla at us.
All right, so we really appreciate you rocking with us, sitting through that long conversation. If we have offended anybody, that was not the purpose. We're just trying to hold conversation, increase thought, and so on and so forth. So this is Ted Simpson standing in for Darryl. He'll be back here kicking up a whole bunch of shit next time.
Like Darryl does.
So you cannot find me on on Facebook, Theodore Simpson IV. So we look forward to y'all comments, send emails, requests, stuff that you want us to watch. Jules will get out there and do the reviews for you. So, but we appreciate you rocking with us, and hope to hear from you soon. Thanks.
Peace.
Y for mi gente del mundo.
Peace.